Cho would have been the best option, but again, Cho gets banned out. Aurora has one more ban here, and I feel like Onyx should ban out something like the Nolan. But the problem is, we just don't know. Maybe there is a surprise pick coming in the jungle later on. They might still force a Ling for all we know.
But at the same time, if they go Hylos, that's pretty much the same idea we saw in game number 1, where they're just going to play slow. They're going to be a lot more passive than we want them to be. And Aurora, they've been doing such a great job at baiting Onyx into drafting these kinds of patterns.
Yep. They've been fantastic with it. This has been a draft masterclass so far from Aurora yet again. You look at just those 3 heroes at the front on Aurora's side, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be an early game problem. And if you're looking at Pagu's pick here, but more importantly, the response that Onyx can have after the hair is shown, there's got to be a win condition on the side lanes. That's the issue that Onyx have faced. They have not been able to do their thing and get to late game. They have to figure that out here.
I feel they need a carry here.
Yeah.
They just need a carry.
Okay, I'm also looking at what Kiboy could actually pick up, because I feel like AoE would really matter here if they want to slow
Minotaur,
things down.
maybe?
Minotaur is a great option. I was thinking of that. And you also have Sustain. So if Aurora actually go in for the dives, then they might have ways to last a bit more longer in the team fights. And if it's Sustain team fights you're looking at, yes, you have the Esmeralda, but what is going to be the carry?
I really feel like Minotaur carry is going to be a good enough pick. Or the Atlas is still open. It's just the gold lane here. I wonder if they want to go for a Brody. I don't think Brody is a good shot. Ranger is worse, though, I think.
The only reason why I was iffy about the Atlas is because I feel like at this point in the draft, you're going to settle with pickoffs.
Rafa also counters the Atlas, and Lucas!
Unique hero!
Lucas in the jungle! Or is this going to be like Lucas EXP and then Uranus jungle?
This is tough. This is tough.
I can see Uranus jungle as well. I think it is Uranus jungle. Oh wait, no, they change.
Wait.
All right, Lucas jungle then. All right, so
Uranus on the EXP.
I think Onyx, they might have overthink this because Atlas kind of gets countered by the Rafa with the speed up and slow down.
Yep.
The Granger, I think it's just because his Kelra's comfort. I don't think it's going to be good enough though. You can't really burst down Aurora.
And even if you do, there's a passive that Rafaela can utilize to just bring them back in action. So this is looking like a really good game for Aurora, honestly.
It feels like more of the same. The early game problem. Don't know if Onyx have found a solution, but this is the time to test their theories because they are only a few games away from getting knocked out. Aurora trying to go 2-0 up here over Onyx.
And the game begins. So far, the statement has been set by Aurora. Hey, we've already taken game number 1, and we're still going to be whipping out some new tech against Onyx. And look at this. Once again, we do see the Rafaela. This time paired up with 2 tanky boys, a particular Leonin who scales up very, very quickly and very, very deadly, and of course, the man himself, Lucas.
Well, I love this. Again, some unique heroes come through. Leave it up to Aurora Gaming and Coach Midnight to make this happen. I remember specifically, I think it was LaFell that was asking about the Lucas jungle, even back in the wild cards to going through. Well, finally it comes out in the knockouts. You can see that battle in the XP lane that we're so used to seeing. Of course, Lunar is going to struggle a bit there with that Esmeralda, but again, the idea here, the theory behind this draft from Aurora is you've got so much speed to work with, so much sustainability, the potential to bring someone back. Mind you, it's flying clouds as well. So that's a whole nother thing too. Just how quick Aurora can get back into the fights that Onyx is going to have to kind of keep notion of, because again, when you're getting all these heals through and you're this tanky for Aurora, you can't overstay if you're Onyx, and that might be one of the biggest problems for them.
I mean, let's not forget, again, most people tend to kind of lean away from Lucas because he's so ability-driven, and his ult, again, you can wait for the full duration, or you can get into these fights like right now and see whether you can start building enough charge to maximize it as soon as you get it. And that's the issue, right? It's going to be a matter of spacing for both sides. You can see that even Sans has opted not to go for Wilderness Blessing and instead pull yourself together to make sure that he can flicker out of the way in case things get really, really dangerous, which I would assume will, as we see Lunar, he is having a tough time in this lane.
Yeah. They got to put pressure somewhere, and right now that's going to be on the Uranus up there in that XP lane for Lunar. Turtle's up, though. So right now, Onyx has favor to go ahead and get in position if they can. Keyboy doesn't have level 4 yet. He's given the information where TNZ is, though, so that gives Kyrie a chance to go ahead and secure his buff, and then we'll see if this breaks out into a fight. A response, though. They know Keyboy's here. Sigiboma rotating up to allow this buff to be secured, but the fight for the Turtles already going to start up, but it's less than half health. secured by Kyrie. Let's see if they disengage here. Pagu too low, so objective secure for Onyx.
Oh, that's a bit of a waste here. And honestly, a pretty huge win because now Kelra at least gets some gold shielding here just to get a little bit of a lead against Sigaboom at this point of time. And not to mention that I think that Onyx also recognized that, hey, we got to be careful. We cannot underestimate this Lucas. There's a very good chance that he can just power through a lot of our abilities, even if they do have the Fatal Links here. Keep in mind, anti-CC is going to be a big mechanic here for Tien. Oh, this is dangerous. Wait a second.
Oh, Pagu.
I don't know if they want to keep on doing this, but Onyx made the smart choice but to back away.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you can still say, Pagu, that wasn't a green camp. You know, that was a buff that went over in the hands there of Kyrie, but still kind of trying to maintain this jungle. Skypiercer is picked up by Kelra. That's kind of what we were thinking with that Granger being picked up here. Again, it is a comfort pick, but also if you can start to build those stacks for Kelra, obviously that's really going to help. And he has to play at range against this kind of lineup here that Aurora Gaming has. So off to a pretty steady start for Onyx, building up already a nice little lead.
And they don't mind not interacting in these early stages of the game until everybody's got their ultimates and they find the right position to do so. And I think as long as Aurora recognized this, hey, we need to fight on our terms and only our terms, there's a lot of things in the early game that actually don't matter.
Here in the mid lane, this is going to matter. Keyboy fallen. First blood to the hands of Sigaboom. What a rotate here through.
It's not over. It's not over.
Oh, Lunar's going to get thrown around. TNC, though, they're on this side. He wants this purple buff if he can take it from Kyrie. This is a bit of a risk, but they're going to go for it anyway. Loopy on this offside goes in with a falling Star Moon, able to find two, pushes them back. But again, they just don't have that follow-up damage just yet. They'll bring back Lunar. Lunar might try to split things up, just sacrificing himself to keep the rest of Aurora up as Loopy will take Lunar down.
Okay. At least he gives that kill over to Loopy instead of Kelra at this stage of the game. But for now, you can see that Aurora, they can kind of fight forever. And Onyx also recognized that. Now, at least first item's already done. Turtle goes into the hands of Onyx. This is going great for them, but it's an ever-moving pendulum. Now, Sigaboom gets to catch up back on gold. Gold here, he's got a kill in hand, but now that he's got the extra plating as well, he should finally have a slight lead against Kelra.
Okay. Didn't have to pop the Purify, just dropped down the Zaman Force. But yeah, as you mentioned, he got a lot of the extra gold off that turret. That's kind of what Sigaboom needed. But again, he did get that first kill too. He knows the Dominant Force is down. Kelra will go in. A quick kill. The killer instinct for him, knowing Zaman Force wasn't available. Makes a move, and now bottom side still gonna break out. TNC, Fatal Links into it. Can't escape, and Pagu gonna be next. Talk about value for your Sky Piercer for Kelra.
Great knowledge from Kelra. He understood what the assignment was. Hey, no Zaman Force, you don't have a flicker, you can't run away from me, and I love it. If you want to just sit underneath their turret, I can harass you for days without anything left. I think at this point, Kelra is going to be a much bigger problem to Aurora now that the game plan is starting to fall apart. Luckily for Sigaboom, he doesn't lose too much here because they still have the passive from Rosa to get the revives down. But Kelra, now building up on these Sky Piercer stacks, they need to cut it in half at some point in the game.
Yeah, you know when that setup happens and you don't have the Zaman Force available for Sigaboom, Onyx will take advantage of that. So a really good decision there. Pagu obviously need to pick up a little more defensiveness, gets a Radiant Armor locked in now for him, but it's just, again, Onyx building up on this lead very early on is going to be great for them. Turret going down up top side. It looks like Sigaboom should be able to get that one, but now Lunar could possibly be in trouble. The rest of the teams here, though, is tanking enough. Picks up a Dominance Ice, but this Turtle is up. Are we going to see 3 for 3 for Onyx in the Turtle department?
Probably. They're going to have to contest this, I suppose, but the lead isn't looking too good. And I think the real question is whether or not Kelra is going to be here for the fight. It looks like he is. They've already taken the tier 1s on both sides, both, again, losing lanes for Aurora at this stage, considering everything that has happened. But if they can find the opening, and here comes Lunar.
Yep, they're going to go for it. Lunar just blasted down, though. Has to pop the Consecration. TNC looking for his own opening. Wrath the Dryad locks down Keyboy. They get thrown out by the Lantern, and Loopy's gone. Kelra flickering defensively. They're going to fight it out. Kyrie able to get the Turtle. Taking out Pagu, too. It's a trade. And now with the speed, they're able to get some distance here for Aurora Gaming. They're going to go ahead and respawn, revitalize Pagu back up. they lost the objective fight, but it looks like Aurora still willing to take these fights.
That was beautiful stuff. Like, Lunar got a lot out of Onyx. Sans even using his ult as well, making sure that they got basically everything down. Kelra trying his best, but Pagu switches the role with Lunar to get right in front of Kelra's face to make sure that nobody else needs to die here. If one person dies, that's totally fine. Two people, too much.
Ooh, Malefic Roar got picked up too. Again, a final. Well, Fatal Links, instant kill. Eventually, you're not going to be able to just keep respawning Pagu now. Whoa. Again, Sans up here in the front of it all. Rosa trying to get away too. This is a messy fight in between two turrets as they back off. Meanwhile, up top, Siggy Boom. He's been dealing with a lot of pressure on this Harith. I mean, Onyx now is not letting up in the jungle. Yeah, it's really tough for TNZ at this stage. Unfortunately for TNZ, in this matchup against Kyrie, on Hirara, I don't think it's very easy because unfortunately for TNZ, a lot of Lucas's moveset is one-dimensional. You don't have a way to kind of delay the timings of it. You don't have a way to kind of come from different angles. It's very straightforward. I run you down. I'm pushing you back either into my team or away from my team. But Hirara is so different, especially with the iframes as well. Oh, this could be a punish. Pagu could be in trouble again. Doesn't have a flicker available. The rest of the team has to help support him up.
Oh, no.
They're going to throw themselves into the fight. Lunar trying to get away. And now Pagu on the disengage too. Loopy up on the front side. They call it off though. They don't want to overcommit to this. So you see the purple buff is up. They're going to put some pressure here. Kyrie goes in. And TNZ doesn't have the purple.
Yep, but that means that Kyrie doesn't have retribution. So far, this could be a forced fight here. They know that Keyboy doesn't have the Fatal Link, so they have a very short window to try and punish. But so far, Lunar has not been able to open up the map convincingly because of the fact that he's been losing.
Oh no. Flicker 4, Wrath the Dryad, Lunar taking some shots, the Rapsy shots. Kelra gets a kill. Sky Piercer proc. TNZ gonna follow by Kyrie's hand. And looking up to load up Rosa. A double for Kelra. They ignore the Lord. They go for Pagu. Pagu, where's the tree to run here, man? Being chased down by Sans and Kelra. Couple shots of the Rhapsody, and boom, another.
Man, Sans and Kelra are playing out of their minds right now. Sans, hyper-aggressive, your really big punishes on TNZ, making sure, like, even though TNZ has anti-CC, doesn't necessarily mean he's safe, right? He still needs Rosa to bail them with the extra movement speed to help close that distance, because that's Lucas's biggest problem, right? TNZ jumps into the middle of this fight, tries to make something happen by pushing Lutfi out of the way, but unfortunately, the entire time, Sans is just building up the butterfly stacks on top of him. Rosa can try and bail him out of there, but once you are committed to the quick step, it's just too much to handle. And I think they just need to take a breath here. Think about it for a moment. So far, their main win condition is going to be Sigabum. The early game is done for Aurora.
Yeah, this is tough too, because meanwhile, when all that happened, there was a great kind of split push happening with Onyx. You know, Loopy taking out that top turret, that defense shield. You can see it here in the mid too, being down. Max stacks here for Kelra. Just so much value on this Granger. It's comfort for a reason, and now they're knocking on the base turrets of Aurora Gaming as the mid turret falls. Lord makes its way down bot. Lunar, half health already. Even on this Uranus, he's gonna pop the Consecrate. All turrets are gonna be stripped out of the base of Aurora Gaming. But now with Onyx, a 10,000 gold lead. They dealt with this in game one, and now it's their turn. Keyboy looking for an opening here. Lord's gonna be worked on. Keyboy jumps on in. Final. Oh, Fatal Links comes through on 3. Still on the defense too. They gotta hold it together. Kelra firing off the backside. He's got the space to work with. Siggy Boom, all the shields in the world. They gotta go heal back up, but the crystals are gonna be locked on. TNZ up on the front side. Kelra gets another. Make it a triple. Can he get the Maniac? They line it up. What a way to take game 2 for Onyx.
A convincing win for Onyx. Sans, man. Gilak Sans is back. And not to mention, every side laner was winning. Kelra was winning. Lutfi won right at level 1. And I think a lot of this just boils down to, man, our laning phase kind of sucked. And what we need to fix here in the draft is to make sure one of these lanes need to win. And if it's going to be Sigabum's lane, they better make sure that he has Flicker rather than the Purify. And that's something that you can't really control, especially since half of those spells are dedicated to this Atlas.
Yeah. And, you know, just as we saw how Aurora made things work for them in game 1. And
one of the heroes that can use a Purify, which I feel like this is one of those games that it's okay for you to have a Purify.
Yeah, at the very least, they have a Harley. I think I will be okay with that. So they have ways to at least penetrate the back lines and go in for pickoffs, because apart from that, the Balearic and the Esmeralda, they, as you mentioned, seem very safe. So let's see how Onyx play this out against this hyper-aggressive lineup that Aurora draft.
Onyx knows they're trying to survive. They're not trying to lose early, because if they go in, they something nice
of Onyx, but everybody has seen Aurora as a legitimate threat to the throne. But who is going to come up on top here?
Man, you know, today and the past couple days have been a whole lot of sweep action that we've seen, and hopefully this one goes the distance here, because, you know, moving forward, semifinals next, you want to go ahead and see them bring it the distance, and the drafts will have the distance for Aurora. I mean, the Louis Yi pick has only been brought up, what, one time? This is now the second time Louis comes through. Again, leave it up to Coach Midnight to make these drafts interesting, right? And sometimes that can work for you, sometimes it works against you, but we have seen some amazing setups with that diversion play.
Yep, some really great stuff across the board. And I want to see how creative they actually went through. We saw, you know, Coach Midnight already talking very expressively to the rest of his players about what exactly may or may not happen, or certain mechanics. We're not 100% sure here, but really that diversion could be the difference maker. They're playing a double fighter comp, which is already pretty scary when you don't have like a dedicated scaler. So we know that Aurora are the ones on a timer in comparison to Onyx. They're seeing Wilderness Blessings. We're even seeing a Brave Smite coming out of Rosa, which is atypical for low Yis nowadays, because dear Lord, like LaFell mentioned, once Lutfi is on top of him, it's going to be difficult for Rosa to get away.
I would say if you look at this for Aurora Gaming, one of the great things about the composition that can go against that setup from Luffy or anything else is they have a ton of options to just set things up, you know, between pick-off potential here. Looks like Tienzi's going to do a little bit of damage to Keyboy, but just keeps him at bay. And whether that's the kick, you know, from Pagu with that Way of the Dragon, or, you know, Lunar jumping in. I mean, how many times now have we seen the Barretts be placed into that XP lane? The amount of ground coverage Barretts has, especially with a Flicker in Daytona's Welcome combo, is kind of insane.
It is. It's really good, but at the same time, right, there's still also the Valentina coming in from Sans. Now, this fight could be a make it or break it here, as we can see that they don't have first position, but here comes the TP.
Well, Pagu just trying to buy some time for that diversion. Rest of Aurora comes through. There's the Daytona's Welcome. There's going to crash on the wall. Sans is gone, but Kyrie will be able to secure the objective. And now Lunar going to try to fight it off here, but gets taken down. So Onyx winning the trade.
Really nice trade so far. It's a little sad for Lunar, but somebody has to take the damage, right? Really nicely played by Onyx side. This gives Kelra just a little bit of time to actually breathe for the moment. Listen to this replay one more time, right? Because Aurora understood one thing. We are going to fight for this neutral objective. Unfortunately, we don't have Pagu to actually open up the map any further. But at this point, trading out against them just isn't worth the time. We already got that one kill onto Sans. At this point, we just need to make sure that we're minimizing the losses, because unfortunately for Lunar, despite Lutfi eventually going to outscale him, he manipulates the waves really, really well.
Yeah, so probably with this kind of setup, you know, Aurora, if they can't find plays like that with a diversion or the pickoffs that they're looking for, then what do they wait for? You know, Tienzi to get stacks like we've seen before on this, like possibly the Sky Piercer for that Hirara. Sigiboom has probably been one of the better performing Paquito gold laners that we've seen so far throughout MSC. Again, I can't forget how he played it against TLPH, and you know, that's one thing that can be said too, that they can utilize here throughout this game.
Yeah, and I think that that's going to be the main win condition, right? Especially since they're on a timer. They still have like about 6. Oh, hold on.
Whoa, that's a timer right there too. Kyrie's gonna be able to get away. Taking out Pagu, man. It's just, again, all you have to do is play around that deadly magic once it's up.
Yep, and most importantly, wait, hold on. Gonna get a quick TP here just to open up the map and get a good idea of where Tienzi might be looking to hide, knowing that the purple buff is going to spawn in about 12 seconds. This next neutral objective is going to be difficult to contest for. Luffy has so much of an advantage against Lunar because of the previous interaction by Turtle's side, so I think this should be a no contest overall, but that depends on what Aurora is going to do with this, because I'm seeing members making their way up towards this top side, and Kelra, he's only got the Purify, so once BMI is down, he's sort of a sitting duck.
They just want to go ahead and trade it out, right? Objective for potential play across the map.
Oh, delivery service?
Yep. Diversion's going to be used right to that mid lane. Pagu this time, the difference here is he's actually got the kick available. Last time they fought for this, he was only level 3. Lunar's going to jump in. Daytona is welcome. Pagu trying to zone out Sans. Already using that Keyboy now. Half health gets kicked right to the team. Will deliver Keyboy up. And Lunar will secure the turtle. So Aurora fighting back, and now they're going to be crashing it down in the mid lane. Pushing them back further. Luffy has the shields and space to work with. Did pop the Purify and will survive.
With use of the Purify there, I thought Pagu for sure was going to get in, clapped on the third hit of G Kundo, manages to walk out of it to save his life. So not bad. It's 2 for 2. Not a real advantage overall. I think even when we're looking at the jungle sectors, right, even Kyrie being able to steal away at least one of these turtles puts him slightly ahead of TNZ, while everybody else just doesn't seem to be on the back foot, right? Yeah. Lunar and Lutfi have evened out. Sigabum actually has a bit of a lead onto Keller because of that double wave, and we're waiting for it to accumulate to maximum critical mass, as they call it. Oh no, Kelra, does he know?
Diversion use, Kelra.
Dive angle.
He does still have the Purify. It's not popped yet. Kyrie's gonna re-enter here. They go in, Wrath of Dry to follow up. Pagu already goes for the kick. They burn the flicker from Sans, but Siggy Boom comes in with a 1-2, able to pick up one, and they'll eat another. Taking out Key Boy. Aurora finds 2.
They're eating good today. They're eating very, very good. And Kelra ends up missing the wave this time around. Oh, wait, actually, 1 minion manages to slip through, but Aurora, they're not done yet. They're looking for mid-tier 1.
Yep, and Kyrie had to back off of this. So then Luffy just left to his own devices will get taken out, dissected from the team.
Man, you can tell the difference between a good Barretts and a bad Barretts, how they flickered their Detona's welcome, but the usage of the rocket jets to predict, hey, if you purify, if you flicker, this is the angle you're gonna be in, and I can knock you right back into the fight, making these chases so much harder to leave. to leave.
That's right. Yep.
That's my king.
Coach Midnight, again, has been a key part of what Aurora Gaming has been able to accomplish so far through this time. Again, this draft, something a little bit different than what we've seen, but it's just this execution from Aurora Gaming that has been so well. Again, there wasn't a huge lead that they had until now. It's not that it's massive already, but it's 2.6K that switched on very quickly off of 1 or 2 fights. And so now Onyx playing on the back foot, they've got to be able to readjust this. This third turtle's coming up here. We'll see if they actually want to go ahead and approach this or just wait. Already half health on this turtle. Again, Daytona's welcome. Pagu looking for the follow-up. Raptor Triumph! There's so much damage in that central point. Siggy Boom won't be able to follow through the flicker, but there it is. TNZ will. A stack secured. And now he's going to be able to get away here so easily as they look for another. Oh, no! Kyrie gets kicked. I know you're a wizard, Harley, but you can't get away.
Oh, my goodness. Aurora playing out of their minds. The red herrings, they make it look so easy right now, but they're just not missing a single beat. They're not too tunnel vision. They're still open-minded to the way that these fights need to actually progress. Let's look at the replay one more time, right? Because again, this was an incredible catch here, spitting him right into Keyboy's face, making sure, despite the fact that Sans tried to flicker on out of there, dashed twice to make it all happen. The chase, the rundown from Aurora squad, it's difficult to beat. Once that major impact is landed and Keyboy doesn't have that Wrath of the Dryads, it's so much harder for Onyx to peel them away.
The unfortunate thing is once the Wrath of the Dryad is dropped down, that's also just a clear signal for Rosa to be like, okay, you want to fight here? I'm just going to go ahead and get these yin-yang interactions procced off, you know, and pump out enough damage. Everyone's centered around that Wrath of the Dryad setup anyway from Keyboy that the Louis pick is actually a great counter into that.
And that's the thing. It's about finding the anchors here. So far, Rosa has been generally untouched this entire game. And, you know, given the caliber of player, Rosa just doesn't seem to ever be out of position. And that's where Pagu comes in saying, I'm willing to die for the Thorn Queen every single time, if necessary, just to make sure that Rosa doesn't fall behind. On the opposite side, right, Onyx doesn't necessarily have a dedicated anchor. When you are pulling backwards, who do you fall back to if not Sans?
Yeah, that's why one of the things, again, if you look at what Onyx can do here as they fall further behind, man, 7,000 gold deficit for Onyx. You've got to play into the Claude, right? You've got to go ahead and let Kelra get to that point, but then even so, if you already have the Trinity, you walk into those team fights, it's going to be the same case where you're just overloaded with that damage, that front damage that Aurora has to play around with, and this Lord, is going to go freely over to Aurora Gaming.
Well, that's a really good point here. In just a little bit, Zipper, could you pull up the items? I mean, we need to know how far Kelra is from that Trinity as of right now. I think he should already be done with Golden Staff based on the total amount of gold the team has, but I'm not 100% sure. In the meantime, though, Sigaboom, this is probably the strongest he is going to be throughout the game. He legitimately can 1v1 Kyrie, Sans, and Kelra if they just walk into a bush, and I think that's the big fear for Aurora. Opening up the map, especially with Keyboy, he's died 3 times opening up the map and fighting for that space. It's just really hard to get back up for him.
We'll see how they play this out. Lord slowly walking up here to this mid lane. They still have the Holy Defense shields to play around with, but Onyx, again, with this kind of lineup, can they still defend this? 10 minutes into the base, the Lord charges in that mid turret. They're gonna have to deal with this wave pushing in as the bottom also turret. Shield pops. Mid turret down. Aurora stays disciplined for now. They'll let them clear out the Lord here and see if they can get more.
I like it. I like it a lot. Onyx says, you know what? Mid inhibitor, whatever. We can deal with it no matter what. As long as it's not the long lane and we have to play this awkward Lord fight every single time, especially dancing around that pit, it's just not worth the effort. And Onyx recognized that, right? It's the setup for the later half of the game to make sure that Kelra is in a good position, because so far, there's probably their only win conditions besides, you know, maybe punishing Pagu, maybe punishing Sigaboom. And even then, you kind of need Kyrie +1 to make that happen. Let's look at the items, because finally, we see 2 already completed for Kelra. Kyrie actually opting to go for a more bruiser build this time around. He does not want to die randomly to either Sigaboom or even to someone like Rosa.
Yeah, he's kind of has to, you know? We've seen it, how it happened in the first fights. I mean, that first hurdle, it was just him being patient. He went in with a retribution, but every single team fight after that, you just see how quickly he has to go back in time to survive, you know? And that brute force is going to help him a little bit. Few stacks here for TNC. This is what we were mentioning earlier on. You know, you're going to pick up that Harari, you're going to be able to get those stacks. You're a threat in itself. And honestly, if Onyx puts too much to try to deal with TNC, that's where, you know, again, they're not paying attention to the rest of the side. The side attack here from Sigaboom or even the diversion from Rosa. There's almost too many things that Onyx has to be wary of in these team fights just because of the nature of composition that Aurora has.
Oh yeah, and I think that's going to be hard for especially Lutfi. As much as he wants to be in the faces, he needs to act as Peel. He needs to cut Lunar off from certain angles and force him to flicker. But as you can see, right, it's moments like this where Lutfi, he can't just stay in front of their face forever. He has to pull in and out consistently to maintain his health.
Okay. Again, at least some defensive items here being picked up now by Onyx, even an immortality for Keyboy, just to get him there a little bit longer. Kyrie will pick up Genius Wand. Sans has been holding on to the Louis Yi ult, right? That diversion. Maybe there's some trickery that they can go with to set them out for this fight for the Lord, or potentially.
क्या हो रही है? Any problem?
Always banned, though. You can't blame us. We come in, they got the bans up.
You decide to put him on.
Speaking of the gold lane, Kelra, he's had 7 different heroes that he's played over the course.
Get to that point, but then even so, if you already have the Trinity, you walk into those team fights, it's going to be the same case where you're just overloaded with that damage, that front damage that Aurora has to play around with, and this Lord is going to go freely over to Aurora Gaming.
Well, that's a really good point here. In just a little bit, Zipper, could you pull up the items? I mean, we need to know how far Kelra is from that Trinity as of right now. I think he should already be done with Golden Staff based on the total amount of gold. the team has, but I'm not 100% sure. In the meantime, though, Sigaboom, this is probably the strongest he is going to be throughout the game. He legitimately can 1v1 Kyrie, Sans, and Kelra if they just walk into a bush, and I think that's the big fear for Aurora. Opening up the map, especially with Keyboy, he's died 3 times opening up the map and fighting for that space. It's just really hard to get back up for him.
We'll see how they play this out. Lord slowly walking up here to this mid lane. They still have the Holy Defense Shields to play around with, but Onyx, again, with this kind of lineup, can they still defend this? 10 minutes into the base, the Lord charges in that mid turret. They're gonna have to deal with this wave pushing in as the bottom also turret. Shield pops. Mid turret down. Aurora stays disciplined for now. They'll let them clear out the Lord here and see if they can get more.
I like it. I like it a lot. Onyx says, you know what? Mid inhibitor, whatever. We can deal with it no matter what. As long as it's not the long lane and we have to play this awkward Lord fight every single time, especially dancing around that pit,
yeah.
Make sure that Kelra is in a good position. Pagu, maybe punishing Sigaboom.
Yeah.
And even then, who already completed for Kelra, die randomly to either Sigaboom.
You've seen it how it happened in the first fights. I mean, to see how quickly he has to go for threats or even the diversion fight.
Especially Lutfi, as much as he wants to force him to flicker, but as you can see, consistently
some to get him there. Maybe there's or potentially take it.
I think the winning play is if San steals the Detna's welcome and he is able to combo with the falling star moon to guarantee somebody gets locked against the wall during a neutral objective. That's my best guess. Because so far, I feel like Aurora are hyper aware of specifically Keyboy. They're like, Kelra, okay, sure, we got flickers, we can get out of it. He only has Purify, so after the BMI, there's no follow-up after that. The next problem will be whether or not we're too low and Kyrie is able to kind of clean this up.
Yeah.
Considering his build, we're not going to get one shot. It's over a duration of time. So really just boils down to how Lukpi, Sans, or even Keyboy finds an out-of-the-box play.
The out-of-the-box play is going to have to happen in the defense, man. Again, with their backs against the wall. This Lord should still be able to be dealt with, though, given the fact that you're 10 minutes in. You know, you've got pretty good clear with this. They can lock it down if they have to, if it's sacrificing that Wrath of the Dryad to go ahead and keep this thing forward away from that crystal. That could be a play for Onyx. But just like them, Pagu's got his own immortality.
Yep.
They've got their defensive items to work with too. They're going to go ahead and push it in. They want to take this top turret down first while Onyx deals with the Lord. They're going to go anyway. Daytona's welcome. Right on target. It's the tankiest member. Is going to get kicked away too. Keyboy dropping down the Wrath of the Dryad with the back line. TNZ is there zoning everyone away. It's a split fight happening here with already Keyboy buying so much time. Finally goes down. But now Aurora looking to cap out game of 1. Onyx on this defense. They got to clear out these waves. They're still charged up. TNZ will jump in. Able to take out Kelra. And that's going to be it for game 1. Onyx facing a tough loss against Aurora Gaming.
Beautifully played by TNZ. That's how you maintain your lead as Hirara. Just abuse the fact that a lot of her...
You want to fight fire with fire? Well, we got Sans as well as Kyrie coming in with the Nolans was first. That's a lot of burst damage.
It's a lot of team fight. It's a team fight.
Bonus point.
Team fighting lineup. What the Farsa and the AoEs too.
Okay, it went to 720, that's why.
Well, again, like this is why they don't ban out the Harley, because they're like, yeah, you know what? You want to fight fire with fire? Well, we got Sans as well as Kyrie coming in with the Nolans was first. That's a lot of burst damage.
It's a lot of team fight. It's a team fight.
Hey, well, since when is CW the coach?
It's Onyx on the red.
Yep. I like how they went through this draft. Whoa, Sans. Okay, Concussive Blast and that little jump through from Paku. Another.
What the hell, dude? Come on. So unstable, man.
Damage to send him back. He doesn't burn the purifier. A little jump through from Baku. Enough damage to send him back. He doesn't burn the purifier at least.
At the very least, here, but at least Pagu now gets to walk into enemy territory for free, and not to mention they're playing on their strong side. Lunar already generating a lead of his own, and Pagu takes like no damage.
Whoa!
Dead.
Holy moly! I think, you know, that is not what I was expecting that early on. First blood.
And all of that, why? Because, unfortunately for Sans, he just took too much damage. And now they're going to start pressing their lead to the opposite side. This is the early game that Aurora is most well known for. And now that TNZ is on this Paquito, and he's already level 3, he does some real damage.
Oh man, they're not letting up too. Again, playing around this pressure that Aurora Gaming has already secured themselves in the first couple minutes of the game. Trying to slow down Kyrie here a bit, but I think Onyx can go ahead and kind of readjust from this. Maybe even potentially. I mean, there's still 30 seconds for that turtle to come up. They can just kind of let that go if they have to, but knowing Onyx, they probably won't just give it up for free, even despite the pressure they're feeling this early on.
Yeah, absolutely not. They need to contest for this. I mean, this really depends on whether Sans actually hits level 4, right? Because he's the secondary win condition in this early game next to Kyrie. And even as we see this game progress, because of that early recall, the control we're seeing from Aurora, now Kyrie is like, man, this early game might not be in my hands.
Yeah, now it's Kyrie asking for the green camp control, man. You know, trying to protect these right now as Aurora doesn't let up. They do get the retribution out, though, so I guess that is going to be the decision by Onyx, especially since Kyrie's on level 4. Let's just give up this first turtle, give it to Aurora. They've won it by just how much pressure they put on. Oh, a big slam through into the wall. Loopy gone after Daytona's welcome. Keyboy could be next here. He's just going to be zoned out. Nope, the 1-2 punch comes through and Lunar picks up a kill.
The autopilot here. Let's not forget that Aurora just seems to be more well-connected overall, and it seems like Onyx, they needed to regroup, but unfortunately Lukpi just took the wrong path and did not want to commit his ult. I think moments like that gets really, really difficult for Onyx. Now, Sigaboom, he's more than happy. He unfortunately is in the losing matchup, but he doesn't mind as long as he's not losing out on gold or EXP. Kelra can try and lock this lane for as long as he wants, but if we do see that Sigaboom's rotating consistently, he should be able to get mid waves as well.
Yeah, and as you just saw, that's such a good kind of like a counter that Pagu has against that feathered airstrike, obviously with the Minotaur, you know, and if it's once he has the Flask of the Oasis and it kind of helps buff up that sustainability that comes with that motivational Aurora, you can then just kind of follow up with the mini jump, but then the ultimate, right, that he has that it just can set things up and stop Onyx's main game plan, which is playing around this Farsa's damage kit into a Wrath of the Dryad, into setting things up for the Nolan on Kyrie to follow through. We've seen the burst damage before, but even on the other side, the counter to that is Tienzi. This Paquito jungle, which most of us have seen in the gold lane. Hold on, Lunar, okay. He's going to try to get away. Feathered Airstrike dropped down, but he's tanky enough to survive it. Just with the Daytona's welcome.
Didn't seem like the most optimal choice overall. I get it if Lunar didn't have the stacks, but once he builds up on those stacks, he's actually comparable to like 1.5 of Lapu, right? Yeah. I think that should be the ratios that should be in their head. I think they were assuming that Kyrie was going to do a little bit more damage, but he's already 2 levels down, right? He's basically the same level as Lutfi, and even Lutfi knows for a fact that he can't chunk Lunar for more than half of his HP, and even then, we're asking for a lot. Overall, this has been a really great start for Aurora as they've controlled the entire bottom side, and it's unlucky that it spawns back down to the bottom side once more.
Yeah, right now, Aurora Gaming is basically just kind of coasting on through this early portion of the game. Second turtle's going to be up here, though, so we'll see if this time Onyx wants to possibly fight both mid laners, picking up the glowing wands here. Again, this Eudora been such a mainstay in the meta currently, and you see why. You know, the multiple stuns that you can kind of dish out, the damage, the poke that you can do, that burst on such a kind of low cooldown is a problem. Tienzi also picking up a Sky Piercer now on that jungle Paquito. Turtles up.
I don't think they can do this here. They're thinking about it, but he's leveled down onto TNZ, and I'm pretty sure that TNZ can just hold on to that champion stance.
Okay. Flicker forward. They're going to force this fight. Kelra on Sigiboom, though. Sigiboom trying to get away. Meanwhile, Lunar's the one to fall. The team fight's going all wrong for Aurora. Sands. There's the what the farsa. 2 kills now, double. And that's going to be a turtle for Onyx.
A really nice play. A great interception coming in from Onyx here, making sure that at least they're dropping down their abilities on the right targets. Like, Lunar set it up pretty nicely. However, unless TNZ finds that trade onto Kyrie or even Sans, then it's just not worth the time. Oh, denial!
Oh, goodbye. Good punish there, because I was going to say, Kyrie could not get away with that after everything Onyx did, but mind you, that whole interaction has now stopped that gold lead that was building for Aurora Gaming. It was about 2,000. That's been pretty much dealt with. Kelra won't get this turret just yet, but he does do quite a bit of damage to it. Meanwhile, they got the bottom turret traded out, so Onyx now opening up the map a little bit here.
Kelra's doing a really good job. Like, first turtle, okay, Sigiboom walks out of it, you notice that he's only level 3, and that's when you know, like, okay, sure, he probably doesn't need to be there, but at the same time, you never really know what's going through Aurora's mind, especially what they're willing to risk. And I think that's the problem that Onyx has been facing these past couple of games. They're not 100% sure whether Aurora is willing to die for certain moments in these games to get a little bit more later on. But now that the Feather Airstrike has been used early, they are making the statement, you know what? As long as Sigiboom doesn't scale, TNZ will eventually fall off.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, too, that I guess the downside... Hold on. Kelra, he wants this turret. Aurora Gaming wants Kelra. Falling Star Moon, a bit of a burst of damage. Kelra be able to survive. Is there going to be a counter punch here from Onyx? They just make sure Kelra survives. They back up. Hold on. Daytona's welcome. Right on cue.
Nice.
Into 2. Lunar now going to be in trouble. The burst comes through. And Kyrie will pick up a kill. I didn't know if Aurora Gaming was going to continue to fight, but they decided to go for it.
They made a mistake there for sure. Kelra played it perfectly, using his Purify to ensure that they don't find the one-shot and sets it up for something more dangerous down the line. This is what I'm talking about. This is a game of boxing here. Let's look at the replay one more time, because as soon as Keyboy, this looked like a very good punish from Aurora until Lutpi says, you know what? As long as the damage dealer can actually go for their full combo, which they know that Rosa doesn't have, this should be a free pick on to Lunar. And they know for a fact that Bravest Fighter, it's on a short cooldown, so they can just drag this out and wait until Lutpi has it. Aurora trying to punish.
Lunar needs the stacks. Daytona's welcome, already used. Fighting off the turret. Pagu jumping in. Minoy and Fury to knock up 3. Keyboy's gone. But a Feathered Airstrike comes down from Sans. And now, Lutpi flickering forward. Trying to zone out Tenzi. He's swinging around here. He's going to fight off Sigiboom. This is a fight all gone wrong right now for Onyx. The 1-2 from TNZ. And there's again, fighting for the turtle. Kyrie trying to find space, but Rosa comes in with the stun. Turtle secured by Aurora. And Kyrie goes down as well. Kelra could be next. Everybody's here to clean them up, and Kelra falls. It all falls apart for Onyx.
Oh no. Worst case scenario for Onyx. Aurora able to find the lead back again, and worst yet, they're able to take out a majority of the members of Onyx, pulling themselves to the lead that they had before. Now, just an extra 400 gold on top of it, and TNZ is probably at his strongest at this point. Walking to take away these green camps. Don't worry, Pagu, nobody's mad at you this time, but let's look at the items, because we're at a dangerous state. They're looking to make sure that TNZ is strong enough to one-shot Sans at every point of the game, but TNZ, keep in mind, that's solely based on the Sky Piercer.
Man, TNZ has done an amazing job just kind of farming up here. You know, yes, he's got 4 kills, but even with that Sky Piercer, and you see the gold lead that he's had, and a lot of that is supplemented because of the way that Aurora Gaming has played the map, you know, from the start to up to now at that 9-minute mark, which will set themselves up for a good Lord take. But Onyx has showed us that they're willing to fight. A lot of these team fights are kind of weird the way they play out, right? Because it's either going to be started up by Lunar. Oh, there's some good burst coming through. Divine Glaive was picked up recently by Rosa, but either Lunar will start it up, or Onyx can kind of go ahead and choose to start things up. The downside of the Belric having the Revitalize is obviously you can't surprise anyone with that flicker combination we're used to seeing. So it's got to come from someone else, and mostly it's been from Lutpi flickering forward, trying to set up, or trying trying to just keep things split up in these team fights, and that's why they're so finicky with the way they play it out.
And that's why I say this is like a boxing match, right? As much as you want to throw your lead hand out with a big haymaker, you also have to keep in mind that Aurora could be throwing their own haymaker. Wait a second, Keyboy!
Keyboy, what's he doing? He's gonna get eaten up here. Rosa's gone though. Kelra now splitting up the fight. There's a stun right on the mark. Minui and Fury knock him in the air. Sands in trouble though. Can't get away from Siggy Boom. And now in the Valkyrie form, he's going to be splitting up Kyrie and Loopy from the fight while Keyboy's got nowhere to go. A proc on the Sky Piercer. Looking to clean up more under the tier 2 tower. A double for TNZ. More stacks for this Paquito. And now they take down the tier 2 turret. Kelra. He's tanky enough. He should be fine. He'll just clear out the waves.
Yeah, he is not worried at all, but the rest of his team does not have that same grace. And Sigaboom has been playing an amazing Freya, a losing matchup, and yet watch this, right? As they were playing this fight, they recognize, hey, no feathered airstrike. They also lost the Wrath of the Dryads, and that's when they decided to throw everything. Even Sans recognizing, hey, I gotta use the Purifier to get away from a flicker enraged charge coming in from Pagu, but it doesn't matter when Sigaboom has stuck on to the rest of your team, cutting you down one by one with no way to stop you. The lack of CC is going to be a huge issue.
Oh, hold on. Daytona's welcome using a live cam. Kelra going to be in trouble again. And Minnow and Fury knocking him in the air. Keyboy can't get away. Once again, Sigaboom leading the charge of the Valkyrie form. A big stun comes through from Loopy, though. Able to stop them in their tracks, but he gets dropped back by the Rockets. But Onyx, they want to fight back. Kyrie trying to get away with Lunar. Not enough damage on the stomp there, that auto attack. Not going to be able to take out Kyrie, but man, what a fight in the jungle.
This is a beautiful game here. Despite being 5.6k ahead, Aurora lose out on Sigaboom in comparison to Keyboy. An upward trade for Onyx, but the economic damage is not done just yet. Another structure falls in the favor of Aurora. Another buff taken away from Kyrie. He's struggling this game. He's 1-4-4, and every single person he wants to go for the kill has some form of damage reduction, has some form of anti-CC, or worse yet, just raw sustainability.
Yep, really good play there from Onyx because of the fact that they took out Sigaboom in the last fight. They pretty much alleviate that damage that Lord Push would have done. Again, you're just seeing, despite being down these thousands of gold, Onyx somehow is still able to actually go toe-to-toe in the team fight against Aurora Gaming here. And now for them, again, they have to look at what's their best angle? What's the best attack plan here for them? And especially when it comes to the jungle, because Aurora Gaming has not let up on this as they... continuously try to take these buffs. Again, Daytona's welcome, throwing him into the wall. Keyboy, it's going to be, again, the focus. A feathered airstrike to follow through. Oh. And now Sigaboom on the back line. He's just everywhere. Sound's got nowhere to go. Forget the turret. Forget everyone else. Aurora Gaming will just go for this fight, tossing everyone around. And they just go full-on wipeout against Sonic. And that's going to get Aurora Gaming this game under their belt, taking the series 2-1.
The one extra detail is what makes Sigaboom one of the best Freyas here in this competition. When he fights, he's already looking ahead of the map thinking, you know what, I can't 1v5, but if there's just enough minions, I will be able to sustain through the damage with my Descent of the Valkyries to have the extra AoE per auto attack. Which is why you're seeing go from 0 to 100, 0 to 100 every single time. A dangerous game that Onyx is playing here, and one that they need to figure out right here, right now. There's too many holes in that draft. Last time it was missing that Atlas. Now...
down. It's actually surprising. He's out-rotating the Benedetta right now. He's winning out in lane as well. Team Spirit making some plays on the map.
Contrary to what he mentioned in an interview, you said he just wants to go even. This is not even at all. He's literally bullying Sepat, moving faster elsewhere, and I think that's what allowed for that 2v1 down bottom. There was a lot that Vamos was dealing with on the other half of the map.
But now, with that kill into Vamos' hands as well, things have kind of evened out. Sepa, this is the first Benedetta we've seen in the XP lane so far. We haven't seen a Benedetta picked up.
We've seen it a lot in MWI.
We definitely did.
Whoa!
Another knockup, another violent Requiem. Sepot lands the time after time. Sawo continues to be the target of the time. He flickers away, and Zarigo is able to respond with a kill of his own.
Brave Smite. Mind you, this is not a revitalized Belleric. He just went up, punched him straight in the face, stole some life and flickered back. The godfather of MLBB and ECA showing a lot of wild Cocoon! In the face, stole some life and flickered back. The godfather of MLBB and ECA showing a lot of wild Cocoon!
Goes down. As Vamos scrambles, Team Spirit going to be able to get a little bit of a placehold on this turtle now. Air 404 is not even a contest for it. Vamos knows they have to back off. This is the aggression we are looking for. Team Spirit finding plays on the map.
All right, throughout the group stage, I figured that one-step conversion was the key. And how's about this for one step? One misstep, a failed bait, a pickoff straight into a turtle take, means Team Spirit now, everything they're building up to is worth it. I'd say 1,000 gold. That's enough evidence to say that the first 5 minutes belongs to them.
What's amazing about that last play too is Sawo willing, knowing I'm going to hang out just a little bit.
Whoa.
Another violent
Retribution into a Purify. Kid Bomba might survive this.
Well done. He's back onto the tower. Should be okay. Able to get away. Very clean. And this is what we were talking about with Kid Bomba up in the CXP lane. Just dominating down on the boss side though. Hiko with a nice blazing duet. Zaki forced to go back onto the tower. Natko wants to try to get involved with this. Is clocking. Walks up as well. Team Spirit though got what they came for. They cut the wave. They're back on the map.
Approaching 2,000 gold mark. The Dragons.
Oh, that's sweet. Somna they brought me.
Whoa.
Are soaring towards a strong mid-game berth. Trek, say with Kid Bomba finding his new footing, getting a little more of that Bomba swag, I think the Claude is doing much, much better for them.
Yeah, and I'm just happy to see Hiko on a marksman again, obviously. A nice pick on Sawo. Sawo will be okay, but the knockup in response to the Eternal Guards. Zakif forced to run away once again. Vamos continue. Oh, but wait a second, from the bottom. Someone comes in with a beautiful blazing duet from Hiko as well. The kill on Anako secured.
There's gotta be some part of Vamos that thought, let's not put Purifies on our heroes. We're going to be the aggressors, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I don't think they expected Team Spirit to be this aggressive. Looking at this lineup, you're thinking, hey, Hiko won't be as in your face. Sunset Lover will be keeping himself scarce. But that's not what's happening. Team Spirit has picked up the pace. This is not the same Team Spirit we saw in the groups.
Yeah, and it's like they see every single attack coming before Vamos can do it. Here comes Kid Bomba, though. Sawo as well with a nice Wrath of Druid. On to Nako and Seth Pasapat, unable to get an angle in, but Sawo taking a lot of damage. Torn apart memories, secures the kill onto Sawo, and now Hiko comes in, able to find Sapat. Air 4-4 as well. Will go down. Zakif holding back as Team Spirit loses the turtle, but comes out on wins and kills.
1 for 1, I'd say a roamer for an XP laner. 9 times out of 10 is a good trade. Team Spirit now up 3,000 gold, pushing top lane in tier 1. I'm pretty sure it's going to go down. Bottom lane as well. Look at how well Spirit took this fight. That one pickoff, that one trade, the fact that Sawo got his ult right where he wanted it means Team Spirit was going to go where they wanted and get that conversion. Top lane falls eventually.
And Team Spirit not only winning out in gold, but winning out on the map as well. And as I was saying, it feels like every time Vamos wants to make a play happen, Team Spirit knows it's coming and is so quick to respond. From about the second fight we saw happen where Saw was able to get that flicker away to down in the bot lane, when Zaur shows up in the nick of time, every time Team Spirit is right on top of it.
So far, Hiko is just everywhere. Needs to be in the neutral objective pit. He's there. Double waving. He's there. Natko, I can't say the same. Again, taking this down to the fact of it's hard for them to get vision, and it's hard for them to get the engages that they need to, since they're both thinking, we need to find the perfect fatal links, and we need to threaten Sunset Lover and Hiko. It's just, Hiko has a Purify. Sunset Lover will be hiding himself up until the very last moment. It's hard for Vamos to play the same pace that they did in the groups to be able to be the #1 team out of all of the teams. Fastest games, cleanest record. They're trying to repair that now. And it's going to start off of Zkeef. I think if Zkeef can, for some reason, pop the Purify on both side laners, then that's a start. It can't be off of Sawo. You can't do Fatal Links on Sawo to start off a combo.
It's very true. I think they definitely need to find those targets, but how do they even get there, right? They don't have huge... I guess you got to get the knock-up from Air 404. Someone needs to bait it out.
It's him and Sepat.
Yeah, somebody has to make it happen. You do have the Petrify as well from Sepat, so there is ways to combos, but it's definitely a lot of checklists to start off these team fights for Vamos.
Lord is spawned, lower quarter. Team Spirit are up 4,000 gold. You see a majority of that currently sitting in the jungle. Huge difference. About 2,000 gold. That's a full item. They find one!
Nice falling Star Moon, and Clocken goes down to Zower. Zkeef just watching as his teammate falls. Sepat into the backside as Team Spirit claims over the Lord Pit.
It's difficult because Vamos are, again, trying to find a way to pop those Purifies. Side laners are calling the shots. And Clockun and Natko can't even begin to figure out what to do. Natko just built his Sky Piercer about a minute ago with 0 stacks. His Flicker is more of a finisher and more of a panic button. These two aren't starting anything until they figure out that silent situation and Zeke finding the perfect entry.
And it's a tough entry at that.
It's a grocery list of to-do things against Team Spirit right now.
You got a whole chore list right now. Get everything done, and then you can have some fun after. And they're not able to make it through. Lord coming down the bottom side. Vamos, and another big problem with this lineup is because you have this more burst marksman, a little bit of a slower attack speed, it's going to be a little bit harder to shred down these Lords. You don't exactly have a big answer for that right now.
Lord marching through bot, big chubby wave escorted by Hiko. Mid lane, slowly worked on by Sunset Lover. Oh, I think that's it. They're going to commit Grand Theft Orange. Oh, who'd they put it on? Oh, Arrow 404 still gets it. Good use of Retribution. So Vamos aren't taking this line down.
They're definitely able to at least defend something, but Team Spirit do such a great job of layering these waves. They take the top tier 2, bottom tier 2, mid tier 2, should fall next as Kimbaba zones away Vamos with that falling Star Moon. Sawo keeping vision as well. Luckily for Vamos, they do keep their inhibitors up, but Team Spirit not quite done yet.
Oh, even Zeke can't stand under 2 seconds of Hiko's basic attacks. In comes Bomba.
Bomba to the backside, maybe a little too deep, but Sawo jumps in and Hiko follows it up with a beautiful blazing duet. Arrow 404 is down, and next will be Sepat and possibly Kakun. But Team Spirit decides to back off. They got what they came for. They take the inhibitor.
3 for 1. Part of the trade, but the fact that Team Spirit are already inside the base, Sour looking for more. High frames perfectly used, mid lane, Holy Shield still standing. What is Team Spirit looking to do? Are they just holding Vamos hostage?
Are they looking to end possibly?
Whoa!
They're gonna move in, a lot of damage from Hiko onto Sepat. Zkeef comes out though. He does have the Fatal Links, could be bad. A flicker from Sunset Lover, but he does get grabbed and pulled back. Sawo tries to come in to at least zone Vamos away, but in comes Sepat, able to get the kill.
Burning!
Now into the backside, Arrow 404 gets the dash as well. Sepat back to base to get some health, and Team Spirit finally decides to get out of town.
This is the first time they actually caught Sunset Lover. One might think the fact that there's an extra body compromises Clockun, compromises Zeke. No, I think that was more of just Team Spirit overstaying their welcome.
Yeah, I think there was the hope that maybe they could end, maybe there would be a big mistake. But Vamos was able to hold it together, and now Team Spirit ends up losing a bit out on that. They could have reclaimed some space in the map. Sunset Lover goes down. Natko getting that kill as well, which is something they need right now because he's got those Sky Piercers. But look at the damage on a Natko. A nice knockup with the Violent Requiem, and down goes Hiko. Arrow 4-4, able to slow them down a little.
So with Hiko off the map, traded out for a roamer, this is one of the first few jabs that Vamos has actually put up against Team Spirit's chin. I don't think that's enough, though, to stop him from actually starting up a slow but dominant Lord dance, which is something I love. In the knockout stage, we started the dance again.
It's definitely been a slower pace, especially even in the groups. We had a little bit of that here and there, a little bit of the macro play. Right now, Vamos does have to worry about that long lane right now. Team Spirit can take it slow. RNG not in the favor of Vamos of the Lord, spawning up on top side and that bottom tower going down.
Yep, long lane in control of the Dragons of the North. And Zar Egoist here just doing his darndest. All they can do really, Vamos, is send the Sepa. He's the fastest rotator from the team, besides maybe Zekif. He can try that too, but oh, Sawo looking for the conceal, finding the engagement. 10 seconds off of it. Requiem already?
On a Kid Bomba, but they do buy the time. Zaur able to get the Lord, but a lot of damage lands on a Bomba. One more shot at Nako, able to get the kill. Eternal Guard comes down, but Sunset Lover finds a Keef. As Hiko looks for an angle in. Vamos still not giving up ground just yet. Team Spirit might want to try to push in. Zario goes, able to get a lot of damage down, but into the backside Sepot.
Oh, he forced a flicker, but he went it too deep. Klokun! Crimson Beacon back. Hiko finds him.
A nice blazing duet, able to get some nice damage, but Air 4-4 not giving this up, will get taken down for his sins. Staying too long. Team Spirit now looking for the push back in.
3 for 1, massive win for Team Spirit, holding that 8,000 gold lead, waiting for that Lord to spawn. Kid Bomba will be up, Flying Clouds will be a boon to Team Spirit's final push. This could be it, Trex.
Team Spirit, one big hit. They don't have a wave on the top or mid though, so it's all gonna have to come from the bottom here. Sawo comes in. The Purify does pop, but the damage is too much. The Keef goes down, and Lord is getting closer. As Zaurigos takes Nako down to about half health. Sunset Lover low, so he's forced to back off. Zaur on the backside, able to find Klokun, and the Lord connects. Immortality pops. Kid Bomba there as well with Falling Star Moon onto air, but they're locked on the base, and Vamos still can't defend. The Lord does finally go down, though, and Team Spirit just can't end it yet.
Wave gets cleared out. Sepot is the only hope. And a Benedetta might be the only explainer to be able to do this. Zarigo is escorting that wave. Top lane inhibitor falls. Arrow 404 and 7 holding on. The base up next.
Team Spirit clean it up for game number 1. Very well done at this point. Ending that game with about a 7,000 plus gold lead. Vamos scrambling through.
How much has gone into this, how much pride is on the line, how much Paquito have been punishing. And it's not that every team is doing this. We're not seeing a Paquito gold lane every single time, but we are seeing it with Aurora, and I think Aurora should keep going for it until Onyx use one of their bans or they come up with a way to beat it.
But that's a thing, though. It's always been the Paquito showing up in the last pick for Aurora in blue.
How do they keep getting away with this?
Look, they're not banning it.
Yeah.
It's...
But I think, I mean, that's just...
Mid tier 2 should fall next as Kimbaba zones away Vamos with that Falling Star Moon. Sawo keeping vision as well. Luckily for Vamos. Tier 3, Arrow 404 on the run. Team Spirit on the chase, non-stop throughout this game.
That's 2 full levels. That Zaur is ahead of Arrow 404. And Trex, correct me if I'm wrong, it took about 7 minutes for the first significant golden hour to be cast. It could have been perfect. It could have been perfect. Underneath a tier 1-2, but now Zekif is running for his life, canceling that circling eagle. Natko might be one more casualty, but all while this was happening, the final turtle goes to Team Spirit.
It's looking rough for Vamos at this point. Team Spirit consistently has the answers. I gotta point out Hiko as well. He hasn't always, I feel like ever since the Gold Fighter really became popular over the past year or so, Hiko hasn't really gotten to shine on one, and this is probably one of the best games I've seen on him on a fighter in the gold lane, the Paquito. He's been finding angles, he's been outputting damage, he's performing today.
And it's what you need with this kind of lineup. Again, the forward momentum, catching the Vanguard, flanking from the sides. Even Arrow 404 is scared of the Paquito. Hiko's getting punished here by Zeki, but the advantage is just so palpable. It's huge. Kid Bomba, chunked down to half. Purple here, still denied out of Arrow 404.
He hasn't seen a purple for about 2 minutes now, maybe more. Vamos only getting 2 kills on the board so far, losing towers, haven't taken any objectives from the side of Team Spirit. They are smothering, and don't get me wrong, with a heavy frontline lineup that Team Spirit has brought, you kind of expect this power spike in the 6 to 9 minute mark. But Vamos has not been doing a good job at responding. They haven't been doing a good job of finding answers. They've actually been forcing fights sometimes when it's not even their time.
This is a clear sign that you shouldn't be because in that little moment, the sequence down bottom when they pushed tier 2, Hiko was putting fist to face against 3 with very little punish. He was doing that with impunity. Sure, Sawa was in the vicinity, but what does VMS do here? Vamos, they're looking to again get stacks on Natco's ult, stop them all with the perfect golden hour, and then Arrow 404 to clean up. Like, that's the perfect picture here, with Sepat being the engagement. That is, for now, again, deja vu, the grocery list of things that Vamos has to do to maybe cut this lead in half. I'm not saying even get a lead of their own, I'm just saying to staunch the bleeding.
I mean, Vamos trying to do exactly that right now with the staunch the bleeding, with cutting lanes. Arrow 404 finding his way down the bot, finding his way to the mid. But I don't think this is a fight they want. I think at this point you just give up this Lord. Sawo unable to be caught by Marcel. Team Spirit having so much movement on the map that Vamos just isn't able to keep up in any way, not even in the macro, but also in the micro, in these small fights. Normally Zakif wants to run in on a Marcel, get stuns on everybody, but all they're ever landing on is Bomba. Oh, Team Spirit looks for this orange now as well.
Even the orange will be denied from Vamos. Now at an 8K gold lead. Putting myself in Malaysia's finest boots, all right? I'd say that little dance, or an attempt to dance, was more of just to stop Team Spirit from even pushing off lane. Because even the long lane is under the Dragon's control. Mid lane gets taken down. No more turrets outside the base. Even an ideal flare will do nothing, because Team Spirit is literally 2 or 3 tax brackets above Vamos.
Oh, they tried to go for the pop before the Lord connects onto that inhibitor. They weren't quite able to get it, but still down to nothing but inhibitors. Team Spirit could try to really break this down. Another wave comes in, waiting for the top side. Team Spirit builds up as the bottom crashes as well. Arrow 404 taking orange buffs just to try to maybe recall and get back involved in this fight with a little bit of something, but look at the damage on his Zakif. Hiko takes him out as Kid Bomba jumps into the back line. Zauer there as well, able to get a big kill. Clockhunt bursts back, but Hiko under the base. Team Spirit want to close game 2 out just as fast as game 1.
They refuse to give anyone over. They're backing out for the mere fact that there's no more waves, so they can take their time here. Bottom lane does have that chubby wave, taking care of that tier 1. And I think Team Spirit will continue to play Hunger Games. This is where they continue to just deny everything away from their opponents as they push mid lane inhibitor.
Oh, another pick by Kid Bomba. Nice golden hour. Vamos trying to output some damage. A nice Setnos welcome. Brings it back under. Sawo does go down. Arrow 404 able to get the kill. Bazaar still there, taking out Natco. Hiko falls. Vamos trying to defend. It's 2v2. And Arrow 404 able to pick it up. But Sunset Lover still stands until he finally drops. It's Clockhunt left over. Vamos defend the base.
A Pyrrhic victory for Vamos. They risked life and limb. Look at all these corpses lay about. And they were moments away from losing, but again, did they die? No, they didn't. They're still in it. Game 2. The base still stands.
And with the game being just past the 12-minute mark, about 30 seconds for the Lord, Vamos could bide some time to start to scale. Team Spirit, though, do you think that was an overstep? Do you think they should have tried to end it there? Do you think it, you know?
All right, if you're gonna ask me, I'd say the smarter move would have just been to back off, wait for it. But this is a Team Spirit we know and love. If they can see an end, then they will try to find that end. Truth be told, if they stay there 2 more seconds, free hits on the base, it would have been over. So I don't blame them for finding and trying to end it right then and there, but still, who's to say that this isn't over just yet? They're up by about 5,500 gold. Vamos looking to contest. Team Spirit secures the Lord. That's a golden hour started up.
The beacon comes in as well. Golden hour unable to help Vamos stop that Lord or pause it all. But Hiko gonna get pulled back in as Arrow 404. Gets the connection, but Hiko still doesn't go down. Nako finally takes him out. Team Spirit forced to back off. Lord goes down. Zauer look for the re-engage along with Bomba. Vamos down about 70% health amongst all members. As Sawo looks for an angle in as well around the backside. Able to get the knock up. The rest of the team split up. Vamos.
Let's go. His trouble all gets found out by Zauer and Kid Bomba between 3.
will go down. Double kill for Zauer. Sunset Lover just hanging it out. Team Spirit now with an opportunity to fully end this. Now with an opportunity to finish what they started last time. And Zauer in the backside gets the triple. Looking for the Maniac. Can't quite get the final kill. But he doesn't have the ego right now. He just wants to end the game. But in comes air. A Maniac for Zauer. Zakif under the base. Zauer wants to go for it, but he just can't connect. The base goes down. And Team Spirit take game 2.
The Dragons of the North are at match point. Game after game, they have pushed forth, and they have not denied themselves the play style that
we expected to see between this early game already. Now, one thing I have to question, though, too, is this Hylos pick. We were wondering what would pop up in the XP lane given the bans and everything else. Now, is this the right thing against the Uranus?
I think so far against the Uranus, it doesn't matter. It's not about the laning phase. It's about the team fights later down the line, right? They have a way to kind of slow Kyrie down, force him to use his iframes early on. And I think the Glorious Pathway is significant to try and slow down both Sans and Kelra from either chasing those kills or to chase them if the impact from Aurora's team fight is just that much greater. We'll see on the very first turtle here to see how that's going to play out, because level 4s, they're going to be extremely key for Aurora.
Yeah, you got to think about it this way, too. The crowd control, once again, that Aurora Gaming has been playing around with is what's helped their lineups and execution so much. Seeking Boom's going to be sent back to base here because, again, going back to the crowd control options for Aurora, you know, they've got that stun that comes with the Hylos. You mentioned with the Glorious Pathway, slowing them down, too, or speeding yourself up, which can help even Rosa. Go for that stun on this Eudora. And then, of course, you have Pagu and the Belric, right? This time around, too, you've got a Flicker because of the fact that you have the Hylos with that Revitalize, kind of that sustainability to work with. So Pagu's surprise factor can be beneficial here. So Onyx, as they approach these fights, you know, they have enough crowd control themselves. They have sustainability with their own Revitalize. And, you know, that's why when you see these compositions come through and you see the Revitalize come to play, it extends these team fights, which can be favorable, again, to have a Jushin, to have Kelra's space here. Oh, a couple punches. Okay. Better to burn the flicker than die there for Kelra.
I totally agree, but more importantly, that just saved Sigaboom his entire laning phase. And now there's a potential angle here, but as long as Sigaboom is able to, you know, get some help to break that freeze, it makes things so much easier because he was about to get frozen out and not be able to play the laning phase at all. Down by bot side, though, I'm surprised that Luna was able to get this much pressure, considering that Lupe is supposed to be the one who actually kind of maintains full control overall. Like his passive into the Ring of Punishment really just kind of doesn't matter. It's just a free stacks for him. Okay.
Little jump in from Kiboy. I mean, they wanted to make a play on Rosa. But Rosa holds on to the flicker too, so that's a no-go there in the mid lane. A couple ultimates thrown out, and it's back to it. But Onyx slowly building up what they can across the map. Much slower pace, you know, than what we have to see, because again, Onyx needs to kind of slow this down in a bit, let Kyrie get to where he needs to be, and pressure where they can. Right now, mid lane, okay, San's still gonna be okay. Much mana to work with here, though.
Yeah, again, at least Rosa is able to try and equalize the EXP just a little bit against Sans. Unfortunately, oh, hold on.
Oh, Sigaboom fighting off Kelra here in the 1v1. Taking too many shots, though. First blood in the hands of Kelra. Man, did he fight for that one.
Oh, predicted from Kelra as well, anticipating where the Chrono Dash was going to be, and now they have to protect these green camps. Lunar is going to try, but that Retribution is a little too big for the side of Kyrie as they continue to take these small incremental leads and making sure that when they do the man-to-man defense, there's always just a huge tax that Onyx applies on towards Aurora's side.
Oh, Pago. Gonna go ahead and heal up a little bit here, but okay, Onyx not gonna follow through with that. They are just looking for those small wins. They're looking to compound the interest here. Gideon, as you mentioned, now Zaman Force dropped down. Kelra going in with a bit of stun there to work with. Torn apart memory. Not gonna be enough. And Sigaboom will get his revenge. And now Sans re-engaging with the beacon. The rest of the team to follow through. Kyrie will be able to pick up a kill for himself. Now TNC off the wings alongside Lunar. Glorious Pathway drop down, and Sans trapped, nowhere to go. Keyboy with a jump, not going to be able to find the target. They're split up here. Now TNC waiting once again on the call. Lunar will go ahead and just force out Onyx from this area.
And that's officially Aurora actually winning out big time on that trade. Where was Kyrie? Was he not in position to try?
Full stream.
and trade for Kelra, or was he 100% confident that Kelra was going to win that no matter what? Risky as it is, at least the flicker is back up, and more importantly, Kyrie already getting his own Sky Piercer. Let's see if they can snowball this, because unfortunately for Lunar, he's going to be a big problem for Onyx, especially on these neutral takes.
Yep, Tianzi also got his. First item locked in for Rosa, too. Both mid laners fighting for it out. Second turtle, though. Glorious Pathway already dropped down. Still half health from the turtle. You're going to deal with Lunar. Again, a split fight happening here. Luffy able to get a couple resources out. Now Lunar trying to get away with that Revitalize. Still going to reset this turtle. So neither team getting the upper hand just yet. But it will be Kyrie to hold on to this turtle. It looks like TNC is just going to have to give it up.
Yep, they don't have the health or the mana. And Onyx, that's what they want to do. Keep taxing them until they can't afford it anymore. Once they go for broke, that's when Onyx can start fully taking control over this game. For now, at least for Aurora's side, they're looking for the first and second item power spikes to really turn these fights over. So having this 2K lead on Onyx isn't the worst thing in the world. However, where's the big conversions, right? Every single lane is winning here.
Wow. Okay, and I guess they just got the call too. You know, Sigibum, come join us. Give up that top lane, but they will be able to find Keyboy. So trading it out just to grab a kill, forfeiting the top tier 1 turret. Aurora Gaming is going to make that switch now, looking to put pressure on tier 1 mid.
And that's exactly what you want to do. These are the conversions that matter here. And Pagu instantly wants to cut off as many rotations as possible. Look at Luna right in front of Sansa's face.
Yep, they're going to have to stop him down. Glorious Pathway to disengage, but Aurora Gaming got what they wanted. A kill, and now that turret falling in the mid lane. So this is going to be a battle. I feel like for game 4, what we're seeing, very different from the previous 3 games, is just this battle of attrition, finding these little moments around the map, finding ways to open it up, get that favorable matchup when you can, win this next objective, that turtle, and eventually the Lords come.
Oh, hold up. This could be really, really dangerous. As Onyx forcing Lunar out of position, allowing Kelra to actually open things up. You can see the rest of the members are man-to-man defensing here. They understand what's about to happen, and I don't think they should take this right now.
All right, Conceal use. Little taunt there, Unbreakable. Gonna bring Pagu back. He goes in with a flicker, locking him down with the Raptor Dryad. Sam's gonna be okay though. Aurora Gaming on the back foot. They want to get away. Avatar of the Guardian will burn the flicker from Rosa. Still gonna be caught amidst it all. Against the wall they go. A burst of damage, but Sigibum is gone, and Onyx will win this fight. A double for Kyrie.
That's got to be upsetting here. Very, very upsetting. But even so, it's just not enough damage. The economic lead here for the side of Onyx being pressed against Aurora as they are starting to run out of breath. But initially, when you see this fight from the side of Aurora, maybe it could have been something more, and they wanted Sans really bad. They got the ult out. They also made sure that he doesn't have his flicker available. The problem is if they don't net themselves the kill, that's a lot of resources wasted on the side of Aurora.
That also, you know, when we saw it from the highlights there, it just looked like they weren't synced up the way they wanted to follow through on Pagu's setup. They were kind of in a weird position, and might have been one of those cases where, again, Pagu's just like, you know, I'm already here and I'm already taunted up, but Unbreakable and everything else. I kind of have to do something, and, you know, Aurora Gaming loses that fight. Now they lose themselves the space to work with. They're 5,000 gold behind, and Onyx has been in this driver's seat now for a few minutes. And the fact that you have the Sky Piercer that was picked up and we talked about minutes ago, Kyrie's now got a couple stacks on it, so that's great for him. And even looking at the build that Kelra has, he's going for the Rage Advantage, right? He already had that blade earlier on. That was his first item he rushed in. Then he got Malefic Gun, and Brody's already got great range advantage against a Harith. Well, now, even more so.
Yeah, and I think that's the really scary part, right? Because Onyx, this is a really good timing to, you know, instigate fights, and Aurora recognized that. That's why you're seeing them clump up together a lot more, because they have to work with their secondary win condition, or main scaler in this particular case, in Sigibum.
Yeah.
Tianzi also understands that as much as he is the jungler, the neutral objectives are very manageable for the time being until we start getting into the Lords. So we need to see the tempo breaker here.
Right now, too, Lunar, even as tanky as he is, he can feel the damage being put out. This purple buff being fought for, though, unfortunately, Tianzi will not be able to secure it. Kyrie's been pretty unrelentless in this side of the jungle as he just continues to take camps, you know, from Aurora Gaming.
Interesting. I hope I saw that right. That was a Haas call purchase coming in for Kelra here. Wants to make sure that at least at the very bare minimum that he actually has some form of lifesteal. And not to mention that, you know, Brody naturally, the way that his auto attacks work, has so much more base damage than the regular marksman, all kind of put into one because he doesn't have as many consistent auto attacks compared to them. this case, he's going to get a decent amount of heal. So in case they try to burst him, the window has just gotten smaller for the side of Aurora.
Okay, with Lord up, Onyx with a clear advantage. They should have space control above this. They'll keep Loopy up there on the top side, doing his thing for now. They don't want to overstep this. One thing's for sure is if you're up against a team like Aurora Gaming, you still got to respect what they can do, even if you have this kind of lead that Onyx has built up. But they can go ahead and play the map this way. You know, keep Loopy there, play around the rest of the 4 members of Onyx. And Aurora Gaming knows this. One thing too, having this dangerous grass in tow, you can make some surprise plays. We saw the attempt from Aurora, but now Lutfi being spotted out, and the rest of Aurora Gaming, they don't have much room to work with. Conceal was already used. They're going to keep them pushed off the Lord.
And the pendulum swings again. Sigabum kind of the only person who has enough damage to deal with Lutfi. Rosa, as you can see, needs to put a little bit of work into Lutfi, start shredding the MR first, and then starts getting the empowered fork to lightning to ensure that he gets some permanent damage. But even then, Lutfi is in a phenomenal position. He's got plenty of magic resist. He's got plenty of health to work with. He's running Brave Smite as well. Oh, well, never mind. As soon as I say Divine Glaive has already been purchased by Rosa.
All right, it's locked in. Onyx might be looking to make that attempt here. It's going to reset, though. Ice Queen Wand picked up 2. By Sans, being dragged back. Flicker forward, not connecting the Wrath of the Dryad. Will get punished anyway. Kelra able to pick up a kill, and with that, Aurora Gaming has to give this Lord over to Onyx.
What a difficult job that Pagu is trying to attempt here. He sees the angle where he either has to pick Kyrie or Kelra. He wants to get both of them.
Yeah.
And I think it's starting to cost him here, right? I think he has to make a clean decision of what needs to get cut in half. So far, I think Kyrie should be the priority in this case because he's the one running Sky Piercer. That could open up some more opportunities, but it doesn't change the natural problem that even without a Sky Piercer, Kelra can finish off kills with torn apart memories from halfway across the screen.
Yeah, that range advantage is what makes Brody so deadly in this case here. And a POD picked up for Kyrie now. So maybe, yeah, Pagu just needs to go ahead. If he can catch Kyrie, catch one of them, might be better than what we've seen the past couple of interactions right now. They got to deal with this Lord up top and clear out what they can in the mid. Where's Pathway drop down? They're going for Kelra. He's going to get stunned. I'm tired of the Guardian. Now Kelra's in trouble. Pagu will find him and just punch him in the face. Locking him down. Keyboy gone. Kyrie on the run. Loopy trying to get away too. What just happened to Onyx in this side of the jungle? They do shut down Tienzi. And now Sans looking for more. Burns the flicker from Rosa. Lord is still there. Sigibum's got to deal with it. But man, Aurora Gaming might have found a little bit of life and wiggle room in this game.
Yeah, honestly, that was pretty good coming in for Aurora. I'm pretty sure that Keyboy didn't have his taunt ready to go, and they recognize that Kelra still doesn't have his flicker for a couple more seconds, so they find the punish. Let's watch this one more time, because it felt like Kelra just kind of ate it, and Keyboy, out of position, uses the AOG to try and close the distance, but by then, it's already too late. The damage has already been done. Not to mention that also, you know, passive coming in from Pagu, shredding away at the little bit of life that Kelra actually has, but now he's got the Berserker's Fury on top of the Haas Claws. He's got some real damage in his belt right now, and unless Sans can keep him protected, they want the traditional front to back.
If Onyx didn't have that Lord that Aurora Gaming had to deal with, Aurora Gaming would have followed through in that fight. Seaboom knew he had to go back, clear it out. So, and they maintained the base turrets. Again, falling from this deficit, Aurora Gaming able to go ahead and find a moment, but I think that was just, you know, a little mistake from Onyx. Again, they still have a great lead. They still have Kyrie didn't go down, so he's, you know, his stacks that he's built up over this time has been okay. And as you mentioned, Kelra now has another item locked in here. Even Sans getting a little more defense locked in with that Bruce Force breastplate.
This is where things are going to be a little dicey all across the board here. And Keyboy already making sure he's able to slow down the auto attacks coming in from Sigiboom. Chastise Pauldron, a pretty important purchase in case that he just needs a sliver of health to survive. A lot of brute force breastplates across the board as well.
No, they again to kind of help with this physical damage throughput, especially with Tenzi. The way he's built up. I mean, he's even got a little mix of defensiveness there with the Queen's Wings locked in. But it's just been, I think, one thing that really stands out throughout these, you know, even the group stage now and the knockout stages, just the way the teams have executed these team fights is so crucial. Herrera obviously allows you to have a little more room to work with in comparison to a Paquito. So Tienzi really has to not get kind of faked out. I feel like that's what happens with a lot of times when the Harara's across from you and you're dealing with it. You just got so much to work with. And that's why, again, the responsibility of Pagu so crucial here on landing these Wrath of Dryads. Lootbeat going to be forced out of that brush alongside Keyboy. So it's a face-off for this Lord.
Just look at the way that they have to play, right? The only person who may be able to bait a reaction from Onyx is Sigurd.
No.
The only person who may be able to bait a reaction from Onyx is Sigurd because he's such a high priority target. Now Onyx, they don't have control over this and Kyrie is ready to hop over the pit, but look at the mid lane. They get that first shove, they're going to reset this and they're looking for an interception. Oh, are we going to get punished for getting knocked out by the Lord? Luckily they don't.
Oh, Loopy, okay, he's still half health. They're going to bring back Lunar. Lunar dropping down the glorious pathway to cut off Loopy, but that's not the target you want to go for if you're Aurora Gaming. And now, couple ultimates expended here from Aurora Gaming. Lord will just reset as the space does.
At least they set the conditions. We used a lot of our ultimates, but we got a really good push down on that mid lane that Onyx has to respond to. Losing a free inhibitor turret is unacceptable at this stage of the game. And I think that at least for Aurora, they know they've hit the 43k mark. Their carries have the damage. Tienzi and Sigabom are ready to fight. The question is, can they get some value or discounts from Lunar or even Pagu?
They saw Tienzi up on the top lane. They wanted to blitz this Lord, but it resets anyway. So again, a good choice here to just kind of back off. Keyboy was there, gave them the information. Meanwhile, Onyx still looking to bait Aurora Gaming into a fight. Quarter the health on this Lord. Whoa, it's going to reset once again. Look at the positioning here from Keyboy.
Oh my God.
Consecration dropped down. Pagu goes in with the flicker at the Dryad. Kelra's still going to be fine though. Torn apart memory. Pagu goes down. Tienzi can't find an opening. He's trapped. Even with an immortality, Kyrie gets a double. Onyx with the team fight victory here will get them the Lord.
What an incredible read from Kelra. What an incredible read. He reacted perfectly to the scenario. Winner crown just in time because Pagu, he keeps on doing this. Keep your eyes here. He sees it instantly. Winner crown to dodge the entire thing, and he still has the corrosive strikes to make sure that he can finish everybody off. He's marked them, he's tagged them, he's outplayed them. Got in the gold lane for a reason.
Yeah, what a move there. Again, it's a KK connection, just a different one for this. And now knocking on the mid turret. They're going to go ahead. Force it down. Whoa, Keyboy taking a lot of damage here. He wants to get away. Does with the Avatar of the Guardian defensively with a sliver of health. He'll regen it back up. They still have the Lord making its way here. So Onyx can go ahead and walk this into at least a base turret, potentially knocking down two. Aurora Gaming wanting to hold on.
Oh, some really scary stuff. Really, really scary stuff. And you can see that Aurora, unfortunately without the glorious pathway, it's a lot harder for them to go on the chase. For Onyx, they can naturally do it, right? They have many different ways of using iframes and immobilizing, trading with one another, you know, the push and pull from Keyboy alongside with Kyrie to maintain their presence. Keyboy, he wants it, but they're not going to give him that option just yet. Oh my God.
Rosa, look at the damage. Rosa's going to have to be careful here. Half health. But again, I think Aurora Gaming is going to be happy with that defense. They keep up two base turrets. Onyx gets one. They play the discipline route, and they'll back off for now. Again, they don't want to push it too far in. Even with, again, with this kind of lead, the composition, they can't get caught in a bad state here under these base turrets. So happy with one. Still have plenty of time for that next Lord to come up here. But looking at the items again, you know, now that you've already seen the Winter Crowns come to play, the Immortalities, you're going to see some item swaps up to this point.
Dhalmai's already complete as well, making sure there's some kind of anti-heal and anti-shield. Oh, wait. Interception angle potentially here.
He's going to get Unbreakable taunted. Should be able to get away. Good coverage there, though, by Aurora Gaming. Again, you can see they have to play together here. They're most likely going to get poked down, half health or so. Pagu finally gets into Immortality, though.
Oh, man, Kyrie. Man, Hirara is such a busted hero. So many cooldowns. It's like, it feels like she's got 6 abilities sometimes, but...
She's not Suyo.
Yeah, she's not Suyo. Even though she has more abilities than Suyo at level 2 compared to level 3, you know, no big deal here. I can't wait for 4 abilities at level 1. Eventually we're going to get there. But the scary thing about it is that Kyrie understands that he's allowed to actually take the first move. Because until we see the trigger being pulled by Lunar, they know that Aurora ain't really in it. Their hearts aren't in it to go for the all-out fight without that condition. And as long as Kyrie has iframes to play with, he can do this all day, all night.
Yeah, it almost feels like Aurora Gaming's it's still used. Goes pathway, they're going right for Kelra, okay. They get an avatar of the Guardian out, plus the flicker. Burnt from Kelra. 10 seconds for this Lord to come up. I would say that's value for Aurora.
That's a lot of value, actually. Wait, I want to see what Onyx is going to do after this, right? Because now that Kelra doesn't have his flicker, Winter Crown is going to get purchased here. Let's see if they correct the waves, because unless they can correct the waves, bot side is on a slow push, mid is neutral, top side is getting corrected by Aurora. And I think that Onyx, despite having a 6.9k lead, I don't know if Kelra has enough money to go for an item swap after that.
Yeah, this might be one of those cases where, again, you just delay this as much as you can here. If they can.
Okay. Ludwig having to use his ults. And Kyrie still dancing around. Yeah, they're not going to do much about this. And I think that Aurora recognized that, you know what? As long as Kelra ain't showing himself and he doesn't have that flicker, it's not that big of a deal. Take away our purple. We don't care about this. Look at that top side. It's already shoving in bot side as well. Kirara shows up and now Aurora takes the space.
Oh! Rosa goes in with a flicker, but Sans able to react in time. That setup not going to follow through. Now Lunar, unbreakable taunted. He's going to take a shot. Here, couple marks. They have to back off, though. This isn't the fight they wanted. Avatar to the Guardian, not going to connect, but it's Pagu. Immortality pop. This should be a kill for Onyx. He goes in with the flicker. Wrath the Dryad drops down. Kyrie gets the kill, but Sigibone fires back with a crown already used. They're in it for now. TNZ, Immortality. They're going to chase him down. He has nowhere to go as Onyx wins the team fight and will start up the Lord.
Great reaction time coming in from Sans. If he died there, I think that could have been it. It could have been the turnaround that Aurora were looking for. But that's what I'm telling you. That glorious pathway is the key to everything right now. A beautiful rotation from Kyrie alongside with Kelra to open up a different angle and forcing Pagu into a pretty awkward position. But you can tell that Sigabum, Keyboy, he's eating so many shots from Sigabum. It takes way too long.
Well, they're in the face. They took out Rosa. Now Sigibum trying to get some revenge here. Kyrie has an mortality. He's got enough work to room with. Oh, Sigibum! Double! That is it! It's going to take us to a game of 5 in this matchup with Onyx in Aurora Gaming.
Are you not entertained? We finally get a full series here in our playoffs. Great job as Onyx pulls it back to match point 2-2. These teams are so equally matched in so many different ways. The slightest advantages in the drafts is a make it or break it. And I think Rosa is probably thinking to herself, man, if only I didn't have to recall at level 1, this could have been different.
Force of the Harith.
Fair enough.
So if you're Spirit now, you ban out the Cho. That's one.
Yes.
Vamos. What are they banning the X?
Keith taking a little bit of damage. Zaur able to get the deadly magic off, but just showing presence, not exactly going for kills.
10 seconds before the turtle spawns lower quarter. Again, one more way you could say that for sure Vamos is trying their darndest to survive in this series is look at the amount of purifies. 3 out of the 5 confirmed that they don't want to get touched by Sawa. They don't want to get compromised by that Ruby. Turtle now on 10th.
Ooh, Zakif into the backside. Air 4-4 able to steal the turtle. Kid Bamba taking a lot of damage as well. They do get stunned up. Air 4-4 back to the backside, looking for Kid Bamba. Kid Bamba still able to survive with a sidestep. Air 4-4's got to get out of there, but Vamos will move on to that tier 3 and get some nice gold plating. A little more damage in this purple buff jungle. Zakif taking out first blood over to Sunset Lover.
All right, quick tally of events. Yes, Vamos did yeet that turtle out from underneath Team Spirit. Oh, Clockun! A lot of damage out of Sunset Lover. Black Shoes! He should be fine. Major objective goes over to the Malaysian squad, but Team Spirit, we mentioned the opening seconds of the bout. Whoever gets more kills, and they took down Ziki with very little fight. I think at some point Ziki was like, yep, I'm in too deep. This is, guys, just make something else on the map for me.
Yeah, just a little too committed, but I still got to say, with the gold plating, that they were able to get on that bottom tier 3 with the turtle. Still feels like a good direction for Vamos. This is the first time in 3 games they've had a lead in the beginning. Was that a steal from Air? Did he get that?
Yep, a small camp. And that should
Wins a
put
win.
him up about maybe close to 1,000 up. So we saw a little bit of the action in the XP lane. Gold lane, though, the fact that Hiko was able to like leave a little bit, join a little bit in mid, and then jump over means he should be close to at least where Natco is right now. But it's close that it's clear that Vamos are on a different tempo now. So at least that decisiveness, that maybe even to a fault, over decisiveness, shows that they have a plan. And now they're finally trying to get to it. Deadly Magic's put on the Clockwoon. He should be fine. I think up to this next turtle, about 20 seconds up, is where we see the 1,000 gold lead broken here by Vamos. And Sunset Lava underneath tier 1! And he gets away with it!
Right in time with the blade of Heptates. Beautifully done. Arrow 4-4 getting a kill on the map right before turtle as well.
And I don't think it's for a lack of things to do for Team Spirit. Look, they have Sunset Lover, they have the Selena, they have Kid Bomba, given he was down in the bottom lane dealing with Sepat. Sawo couldn't exactly get a confirmed freeze, or I don't think you're gonna waste an ult on a Fanny from underneath tier 1 like that. So I think Vamos have found the perfect speed. This is the Goldilocks spot for them. Not too cold, not too hot, just the right amount of pressure to be able to get to that 1,500, maybe 2,000 gold lead up leading into Turtle 2.
And it all started with the draft, I feel like, them taking that blue side instead. Up on the top side, though, Air 4-4 gets the solo kill on Dezour. Finally punishing back.
And this is what we're talking about. Vamos have a plan in their head. They have a winning image. And sometimes it doesn't have to involve the major objectives. It sometimes involves just stepping on your opponent's neck and stopping them from moving. Zakif engages, in comes Error!
Error does get knocked up, pulled up by the Fatal Links, but Clockwoon still able to get the kill on to Sunset Lover. They're gonna move on to this turtle now. Azaur is nowhere to be found. No way for Team Spirit to contest this.
As mentioned, the award-winning film Whiplash, this is to my tempo. This is Vamos just rolling that drum to their beat, taking a Turtle 2 handily here. And Team Spirit, for the first time in the series, are on the back foot. You'll see here, minute 1, Trex. Minute 1, they've been trying to condition Team Spirit to take those fights underneath tier 1, and we saw, I believe, an ult out of Sawo to try and punish that dive from Air 4-4. It wasn't enough.
So where does Team Spirit go from here? They do seem to be slowing it down a little bit. Unlike when Vamos was losing, where they would kind of over-engage even when they were behind, Team Spirit isn't exactly looking for fights, but Vamos is closing in its grasp right now. With that tier 3 down on the top side, we're going to be able to start seeing Nako getting involved in these fights. They're going to go for the rotations around the map. It's not just going to be a 3v3. It's going to be a 5v4, something of that nature.
More than involved, I think Natco will start fights. Sometimes even with just a rogue Zaman Force, because that's how ahead Vamos is right now. Just to put it into context, Sepat hasn't been in the bottom lane for maybe 30, 45 seconds, and that's enough for Kid Bomba to try and equalize, but look at where the turrets are. Literally. Air 4-4 can just visit, maybe sneeze on the turret, and it would fall. That would be permanent damage to Team Spirit's potential to farm, because top lane has already fallen. So this is what we were looking for. In the early days of the group stage, this is what the meta demanded. Easy conversions, kill for a turret, quick take, and then it snowballs. That's what's happening. Sepat jumps in.
Nice. Falling Star Moon does come from Sepat, but the damage starts to come out from Hiko. A nice pull-in with Fatal Links, but the Spawn Force drops down, and Vamos doesn't run away. No, they engage more. Team Spirit loses Sawo. Hiko continues to get free shots off, but Vamos not giving up on this push. Able to take that mid-tier 3 down to about half health as Sepat holds down the front line. Team Spirit looking to re-engage. They dive down, and Hiko gets the kill onto Sepat. It's 1 for 1, but Vamos still holds a lead.
Oh, walks in to that brush, holding her for a more Zaur. So close. I believe the window is closed. Trex, Zaur Egoist can no longer threaten a single member of Vamos, not alone. It cannot be off of his back. This is where I think we've seen over the past 2 to 3 months the heyday of, I hate to say it, the utility Harley. He has to just either be cleanup or just the gap closer to take these objectives, and then he goes from there. He has to use his space escape to try and push waves, because right now it's all off of Hiko. Hiko might be the only hope for Team Spirit to get a good mid-game berth.
Sawo, though, going to look for an engage, even with Team Spirit being behind Air 4-4. able to get the turtle. Jumps onto Hiko. Hiko does have to go away. It might not be the right target. He's going to move off. They're just controlling lanes at this point. Little poke here and there, but nothing too major.
And this is all Team Spirit could do. Make sure that the damage dealt to their side lanes doesn't extend to mid. So they see this big fat wave down bottom. They're standing Kid Bomba. Top lane, it's Zaur who's going to clear that up. And Vamos, all they're doing is finding that next big fight. Finding where Sawo's willing to fade the links, where Kid Bomba might think, oh, I'm offended here. But they know that Team Spirit is short on damage. They know that they can't fight toe-to-toe just yet. So there has to be a crafty way for the math to side over to Team Spirit. Because Vamos right now, look, they're just taking it slow. This is a clear sign that a team knows that their damage is on par. Oh my lord, a single swing over puts a third out of Hiko's life down.
A single swipe. Hiko might not even have time to hit the go away if he's not careful. It's getting to a point where we'll have to preemptively do it when these fights start, because if anyone jumps on top of him too quick, he's going down.
All right, fortunately, Hiko has been getting some farm, and that's speaking relatively, because look at how well Vamos is freezing these waves. He's just butt down maybe 500 gold away from Natko. And Kid Bomba gets caught.
Keith able to set up for Natko. Natko able to get the kill on Kid Bomba. And Natko keeps it going. Jumps on his Zaur. Sawo trying to come in and help out. Does have the fatal links. Able to pull one in. Purity does pop for Natko. Sabat able to get away. The deadly magic brings down to about half health as Team Spirit doesn't really want to force a fight. They just don't want to lose a tower at this point. But Air 4-4 does want to force it. Jumps on a Sunset Lover. Under the tower with the cutthroat. Gets him. Takes him out. And Vamos moves on to the mid side.
Nice and easy. Vamos was corralling Sunset Lover. I think they were just cajoling him to say, all right, you could do this, and then says, psych! Throws him underneath the bus. Just like that, the lead has grown to almost 6,000 up. I don't think Team Spirit should even contest. This should be a free Lord, but wait, Sawo, what's he thinking? He doesn't have a fatal links.
Sawo doesn't know how to not contest at this point. No, it's just vision. But Team Spirit maybe should be using this to take a tier 3 up top side. Do they really want to go? They don't need to go for a Lord right now. Use Zaur to play the map right now instead of forcing Vamos into a fight that you might not win.
I agree. Use it as if like a baby Fanny, like a baby Ling.
Baby Fanny.
Yeah. Fanny at home. But it seems like Team Spirit, despite the 5,000 gold that Vamos has on top of them, want to keep him honest. So, which I get. Because look at this lineup. Look at Team Spirit's lineup. None of them can clear waves as easily as one might expect. So maybe they don't want to defend out of the base. But also, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm offended inside the base would be lethal. That could be a turnaround that Team Spirit can play off of. Maybe a singular wipeout, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe if you can just slow it down here, right now, in the Lord Pit, they'd rather take that fight. They take their chances here.
Speaking of I'm offended, can Kid Baba land something now? He does get vision into that side bush. Team Spirit don't want to give it up. Maybe they do. They finally back off. Someone makes the call of, this is not the play, guys. Let's play the map. Let's let them have it. Let's go for the defense.
And guess what? You can't purify the map. That's the thing that Vamos is thinking right now. They have layers upon layers of insurance. Playing the map doesn't force them to use their Purify, which is almost single-handedly the one resource that Team Spirit are struggling to deal with. Because Sunset Lover, I hate to say it, is a non-factor right now. His arrows are landing a little too far off. Sea Keep comes in.
Okay. I'm offended, lands on as a keep. Nako with the re-engage, drops him on force. The damage still just too much. And Team Spirit doesn't quite have enough. Hiko does drop the goal away. Look at the damage. Nako still gets away. One more shot. He gets the shield and he survives. Team Spirit just can't luck out in this game.
Oh! But he still goes out. What was that? He walked into a trap.
Is that what happened?
It must have been the only...
What was
He walked into a trap.
Can't luck out in this game. Oh! The shield and he survives. Team Spirit just can't luck out in this game.
Oh! But he still goes out. What was that? He walked into a trap.
Is that what happened?
It must have been the only possible explanation. So Sunset Lover says, Leo, who's not a threat now, but that's not what we were referring to. We were referring to Purify's getting popped. What? The damage on Sunset Lover, we underestimated. The possibility of a late game Selena turning things around like that.
I mean, he had like 10% health.
The damage will less than. It was like 4 or 5% with a shield.
A trap, I feel like that's fair game. The trap got the kill.
Where was it? Somewhere around here.
Had to be in mid-brush, yeah, mid-river brush, something like that.
Okay, so that does keep the Lord push very manageable.
Yeah, they
and
still
it
have their
keeps
tier 2.
the inhibitors standing, tier 2 in mid. But that doesn't stop Vamos from staying up. And look, you gotta respect Aero 404's diligence. This is him saying, we're not so sure just yet, so let me build RGM. We respect that, Selena. I'm offended. Kid Bomba throws his shot out. I think if we get past the 16-minute mark without Team Spirit losing, you might be cooking Seppat here in the middle of 5.
That once again taking so much damage. Not gonna be able to survive this one. Deadly Magic will lock in, but no, Seppat still lives. And Zakif jumps into the mid of all of Team Spirit. Kid Bomba forced to use the flicker just to get away. Vamos hanging on by a thread in every fight.
XP laners, the vanguards of their squads, this close to death. All this while, Aero 404 just wanted to commit Grand Theft Orange, so they're continuing to choke out Team Spirit, playing for this Lord, spawning in about a minute lower quarter. Looking at the items, wow, it was just 2 items. Trex, it was literally just a book and a glowing wand.
That's all it takes. The burn. Okay. Burn, though. A little bit of damage, plus the burn. Double burn.
Natko had 0 defense. So he was just going to take that either way. Looking at the gold lane, again, just about 500 gold between Hiko and Natko. And Hiko hasn't died yet. So I'd say as long as Team Spirit can keep their inhibitors healthy, can at least venture out of their base, maybe, 10, 12 leagues out, he should be fine.
I mean, honestly, the fact that that first Lord wasn't able to bring everything down to inhibitors and not even take possibly an inhibitor means it's already going to be about 14 and a half minutes, 15 minutes by the time this first Lord goes down.
2-minute counter.
It's going to be hard. Team Spirit could honestly just play defense here.
That's what
they could let the Lord come at them.
Whoa.
They should be able to shred. Sabo doesn't want to play defense. Zakif getting pushed away. Into the backside, though. Air 404. Able to get some nice damage down onto Zaur. Kid Bomba as well. Team Spirit, like I said, they could play defense. They probably won't lose off of one more Lord push. And then you're in mid to late game at that point.
Passive push up top. So this dance has been beneficial to Team Spirit. Still cannot deny the mechanical and momentum-based gameplay of Aero 404. Dodging a couple ults. Big knockup. Lord of Tents.
Saved by the Lord. Saved by the bell. Kid Bomba takes the Lord, though, with the steals to keep on the backside. Able to make sure he goes down as Seppat moves on to Hiko. Sabo with the fatal links. Able to pull 2 members away. Nako able to get some free shots back. In response, Team Spirit back to base. They have a Lord. They have a defense. And now they have an advance.
A Lord for 2. That's a bargain. Again, looking at Team Spirit's lineup, it's not a lineup that can defend inside the base. Wave clear isn't a commodity they can go off of, but look at the trade. Look at how well Kid Bomba just dug underneath. That Zaragoza was too far off, so that was a Hail Mary play.
And it pays off at this point. They do defend. They lose their mid-tier 2, but still inhibitors all stand strong. Vamos has to rethink, and we're getting to that goal. We're getting to the spread. We're getting to 5-item territory at this point. It's going to be another, 2 minutes till we get another Lord, or a little more?
Yep. And I think we've crossed the point wherein I'd say Team Spirit can contest that Lord. This last one, I didn't expect for them to steal it. I was expecting them to, just draw it out. But the fact that they stole it made this, again, canon moment in this game a little more possible. And here we are now. They're threatening the push in mid. Massive AOG.
Does get the knock-up on a 2, but Hiko still has to go away. Air 4-4 unable to connect onto any. Zakif keeps getting caught. Yes, he's able to get that AOG, but his health was too low before that fight started. Team Spirit continue to make him a target.
I'd say it's worth it, the fact that they were able to protect their tier 1, because that's another point that Team Spirit has to put pressure on. It did not come for free, yes, but he didn't die. Couple of battle spells, yes. Key battle spells, but the fact that mid lane tier 1 is still standing makes this Lord all the more harder for Team Spirit to contest for. They will contest, yes, but it's not as ideal, not as viable for them to convert elsewhere. So Vamos still has more tricks up their sleeve. You can see that Aero 404, 17, 80 minutes in, is still dodging. AOG point blank!
Once again, able to get the knock-up onto Kid Bomba. Kid Bomba doesn't have to go away, but a nice fatal links does land from Sawo. Seppat taking a lot of damage from Hiko. Hiko unloading right now. Zarugis being the next target as Arrow 404 finds him. Will he go for the re-engage? Sawo is low. Arrow 404 trying to turn things around, but he decides it's not the optimal strategy.
2 for 1. Still a good trade for Team Spirit, but they lost the Retribution holder, so it doesn't immediately convert to a Lord. Here now we're seeing how perfectly Team Spirit, their patience is paying off. Fatal links into all of them linked up to Muddles. And Hikomania starting off about 17 and a half minutes in. Arrow 405, I think, is the linchpin of this lineup. The fact that he's taking care of the map, the fact that he picked off Zarigos when they needed to, means this Lord wasn't as free for the Dragons.
Do they try to burst it down here? It's a few seconds for Zaur on the map. Gonna look for position. They do take the purple buff. Did he take purple? No, it's still there.
Oh, he might have just left the baby.
That's what I'm wondering, if he just let... No.
No. Well, I think the fact that, all right, vision-wise, Team Spirit has it in spades. They can just leave traps around. Sawa can flush him through. So I think that's what Air 44 was afraid of. He wasn't sure where the members of Team Spirit were, but now, Spirit, they start up a dance.
Hiko is becoming a problem at this point. There is no answer to this man. Once the go away comes out, he can just unload. Even Sapat is getting shredded down. We saw it in the last big Lord fight. Arrows coming out from Sunset Lover. Vision gained by Team Spirit. Vamos now are at a point where they need to find a way in.
Lord, at a third of itself, gets soft reset. Sawa playing footsies toe-to-toe against Zekif. Zarigu is clearing that wave up top again. Due diligence. Long lane is in Team Spirit's advantage. That's impressive. How they're able to do this dance this well.
And Truncheon comes down for Falcon. In these grouped up fights, it could make the difference. Ooh, as Hiko continues to play Zaur. Able to lock down onto Clockun, pops a Daddy Magic. Clockun will survive with the black shoes. Arrow comes out, but that is one big utility down on the side of Vamos.
Another soft reset for the Lord. Ult spent on either side. Zekif here has an immortality already, so he can use his body as a shield. Can engage. Lord at half health.
Man, the way that Hiko is consistently pressuring this Lord means Vamos can't take the risk of playing the long lane. They can't play the map right now. They need a full reset. Step out on the backside. Look at the flicker in, and Sawa finds error! Sawa will pay the price for that. Vamos without a jungler have to make this play happen now. They have to change something, but Team Spirit isn't going to let it happen. Hiko will not let it happen. Sapat's on the run. Clockun's on the run. And Kid Bomba won't let him get away. The mid, Zekif with the AOG back to the base. Team Spirit take the win and take the Lord in that fight.
A sequence out of order. The lead is gone. They have evaporated the 5,000 up they've been sitting on for the better part of 10 minutes. Hiko underneath the Lord at point blank range. Lifestealed his way to bullying 2 to 3 members of Vamos out. Kid Bomba now forcing a black shoes out of Clockun.
Kid Bomba doesn't have the I'm offended anymore, so they should be safe, but he's never going to give it up. Sepat there as well. Lord slowly marching down topside. This is the only advantage that Vamos has right now.
Lord is going to be evolved, so as soon as this makes it into where fights happen, Team Spirit is going to be calling the shots. That's a Spirit Lord.
And at this point too, Vamos, they have their tier 2, so that's at least one advantage in this push, in this defense, I would say.
They can slow the inevitable.
They can slow the inevitable. Big wave in the mid side. Air 4-4, because of this slow push on the Lord, he's able to kind of play the map a bit, but Team Spirit doesn't care about the other lanes. They want to Hail Mary it down this top side.
Okay, a lot is on Clockun right now. He's going to need his Spirit fight in 20 seconds. Zarigos put down a third of his health.
They got him offended from Kid Bomba, though, on multiple members, followed up by Fatal Links. Air 4-4. Forced to wing away. Zekif will drop next. Immortality does pop. He doesn't have the AOG. He's not able to get away with it at least. And Lord breaks through as Team Spirit close the distance. Arrow 404's got to get in there. Sapat's got to get in there. They got to clear the wave, but they can't. Team Spirit lock on the base. Revenge is served in quick fashion. The Dragons, Team Spirit, will go on to the semifinals.
Harosh, Team Spirit, despite the grueling climb through
Rome can really help them out here. And there you go. They pick up the Belleric. Also kind of good going up against the Claude, Uranus, Cho. So
who do they want to pick up? Who does this Cho work against on the side of Onyx? Who's the priority?
No one.
No one. So that's
if you can catch Fanny, great, but
wow,
I don't know about that.
At best, probably just disrupt.
Yeah.
Onyx will just go all in the team fights.
Who are you leaning towards, guys? Final game.
I'm leaning towards Onyx.
I have to go for Onyx.
Onyx. Wow. Indonesian champions in 2023 trying to go back and win in the semifinal. Aurora trying to prove that they deserve to be on the main stage. It's one game away that decides it. A best of 5 turned into a best of 1. Aurora Gaming versus Onyx. Turkey versus Indonesia. Let's send it back over to our casters, Gideon and Naisu, for game 5 at MSC.
Two teams walked into this arena at the Esports World Cup thinking that they could make some life-changing money. Now they put it all on the line as both teams have pushed it to match point. A single mistake, a single good play could be the difference between a lot of cash here. But now let's jump right into this game as the Land of Dawn has already blessed us with a beautiful series.
And even this draft, Gideon, for game 5 brings us, I feel like, back to the fundamentals, you know, for the most part. Even if you look at Aurora Gaming lineup, our panel talked about it. There's no more things surprising yourself in the draft. It's pretty standard. There's only so much that the coaching staff can do. It comes down to that execution. Onyx on the same foot. Pick up some of their best heroes across the lanes here. Again, to see potentially Kyrie on this Fanny and Kalra having the Harith here, there's something that can be said for the movements, the way they move around the map alone can set things in pace.
Let's set the stage here, because so far, Aurora, you can tell, that top side is definitely going to be their strong side. Lunar playing a much better game this time around, not having to deal with the Esmeralda, but against the Barats, it's going to be a lot easier to kind of outmaneuver and control this lane better, especially since it's a no-go lane. Nobody's going to die here. There's nothing to worry about. But on the bottom side is where it gets interesting. And I was wondering in the draft whether or not, you know, this Cho was going to be the difference maker.
Yeah.
Both sides had to take Purify in this case, so it's a general neutral lane. But knowing Sigibum, he's played this matchup against the Harith many, many times before in the previous year.
We can see this pressure already on these green camps of Kyrie. Pago takes some shots here. Quarter of the health, he's going to have to get on out of there. This is one of the difficult things for Pago to deal with. You know, when asked the question, who's the best target for those kicks? Who's the best person to go for? And it's honestly, it's Kyrie, but as mobile as a Fanny is, that's a tough task to take here. First turtle up for grabs. Onyx going to start it up. Lunar kind of gives that information, but Tienzi's not anywhere near it. So first objective, turtle, going on it.
They're just uninterested. There's just no reason to fight for it as of right now. Not until they have that kick to start developing a dedicated lead. And Onyx recognized this, right? Sans immediately takes away the dragon on their side in case they could find a moment to snowball this even further. The mid duos have been doing really, really well and have adapted a lot throughout the matches. Now they're going to go down towards their insurance policy. Carol getting a really good freeze here onto Sigibum. And this is where it starts to get dangerous, right? If Sigibum unfortunately uses his BMI too early, there's a chance he gets run down by Kelra with his Almond Force.
It's almost to me on the other side. Loop. Using the flicker. Daytona's welcome into the wall. There's the follow through. Nice kick from Sans into the turret. First blood for Kyrie. They find 2 now. They're looking for a third. Luna trying to get away here. He's got a sliver of health. Jump back in. There's the counter punch. Taking out Kyrie and Pagu with the Jikundo. Will be able to get away. No follow through damage. It's a trade. The 2 for 2.
God, that was hot. Pagu, what a wow. Let's look at this one more time, because again, the play coming in from Sans was good, right? He flickers on over to guarantee the kick to the right side, but that third hit of Jikundo, breaking it up at just the right time, allowing Lunar to survive this, and also using his Purify. He probably should have used it slightly earlier, but it doesn't matter. He got the damage off of his shield, and even for Onyx side, they don't mind this trade at the end of the day. So what if Lunar gets it? We'll eventually be able to deal with it later down the line. So for now, those who found the kills have the money to go even further. Tienzi and as well as Kyrie dead even right now, but only a slight lead, 1 level lead for Tienzi.
I wonder how many times Sans will try to replicate that. You know, take the kick, take that way the dragon from Pagu, utilize the kick himself, or does he take something else? You know, between Rose's ultimate, that Thundering Wrath can be beneficial too. So Sans will have his work cut out from him, but like we just saw, pretty good here. Skypiercer now picked up for TNC, the second turtle coming through.
All right, TNC has to play for cleanup here. They can initiate, walk back, wait for a little bit, and then clean up later. Kyrie, he's got the Heptaseas already ready to go, and he wants to make sure that when he gets on top of a target, that target dies straight away. So now you can see that at least from between Onyx and as well as Aurora, they're constantly trading. They're constantly trading the HP.
Okay, again, way the dragon held on by Sans. There's the Daytona's welcome. We go right on the mark. Kyrie coming through. Consecration already going to be used. Quarter the health on the turtle. TNC will secure it. Fight breaks out. Blazing duet, not enough. Keyboy will fall, and then another trade. Kelra has some space to work with. A whole lot of battle spells used up as well. And TNC will get away with the iframes here on that Hirara.
He's dancing around here. Kelra playing a dangerous game. And you can tell by that positioning, unfortunately, the Zaman Force might not be enough there. Onyx now trying to set something up. They want to see Sigurboom, but they don't notice him just yet. He's hiding in the bush, and the denial of information has caused Onyx to give up on the dive.
Okay, they're going to get forced out of there. They wanted to make a play, but luckily Sigurboom has that protection. Pagu, there's the kick right on cue. Purify's still available. Now it's Pop. Kyrie joined the fight, swinging on through, gets stunned, Thunder and Wrath down. Pagu trying to get away, burns the flicker. He will survive. Neither team falling in the exchange bottom.
And you can tell how antsy both sides are. Sigurboom luckily doesn't get his recall canceled, but that will mean that bottom tier 1 is under threat. They are willing to trade topside, but at least from Kyrie's POV, easily is able to dodge out of the right ability. Sans, does he get the turret? Oh, it's almost. One auto attack. It's as good as gone.
Yeah. Take a little bit longer to take that one down, but pretty much Onyx just trying to find what they can across the map here. It's really neck and neck in Game 5 so far, Gideon. Again, this is exactly how you want this series to pan out here. Neither team really pulling the switch just yet. Pedal to the metal, but right now it's going to be a tier 1 that falls on our side. Whoa, already some pressure there. Rosa burning the flicker to survive. Actually, Sans burning his flicker, and now trying to secure that purple buff. They do just that. Pagu forcing himself out of sight of the jungle. So this is just a battle for buffs and just tier 1s.
And you know that Hirara generally has a bit of an advantage in these moments, especially with slight leads on their sides. Best part yet, the iframes making it even harder, especially since you can control the timing of when you decide to drop down that falling maple. In the meantime, though, as we can see Aurora alongside with Onyx contesting for the space at this point. The main contestant is having control over this mid lane. If we see TNZ make a mistake here, luckily he doesn't walk into the lane, goes for the Lethal Wanderer instead and lets Sigurboom actually absorb this wave. Onyx miss out that opportunity.
Okay, waiting patiently here too. Last turtle of the game. 1 for 1 across both sides for this objective. Onyx will play it a little bit slow. Keyboy waiting, he's got a flicker available. Conceal going to be used. He's going to force the fight for this third turtle anyway. They get stunned in their tracks. Kyrie jumping through, takes the turtle away. Daytona's welcome. Into the wall he goes, and Rosa's gone. Now Pagu, nowhere to run either as he's collapsed down by Onyx. They got the objective and the kills.
That was a hot play coming in from Onyx. It felt calculated beginning to end. The timing of Keyboy utilizing his Wrath of the Dryad, not to mention just an amazing flicker Detona's welcome right onto Rose's face. Nothing they could do at that point. They reached, they grabbed, and they caught the ball out of the air from Aurora. Let's look at this replay one more time, because as Kyrie makes this play, it catches afterwards, but it catches just enough. With Rosa already down in TNZ, having no combo points to actually go into his iframes, literally nothing you could do there.
That's the thing too, the fact that it's broken walls and you have this fanny, you can utilize a little extra opening on these turtle pits or eventually the Lord pits, something that you can do here. So Kyrie can kind of just swing on through into those fights, following through the Rapid Drive. They're going to do it again under the tier 2, already forcing the fight, and the buff is gone! Where did he go? And Lunar to follow, a double for Kyrie. And now TNC waiting for the rest, rather drive, pump the top, loads him up! Triple kill for Kyrie, making a possible maniac on the fanny.
A statement being made by Onyx right now. doors they're looking to crack open. Bottom side tier 2, and they've evened out this score. 3.2k lead in their hands. Things are getting extremely dangerous for Aurora. SigaBoom, he's got to be careful here. That BMI is literally his only lifeline. Just watch. As soon as the BMI drops, you see that Kelra said, hell no, we dive in this. We're sending the goon squad to take him out.
And they lined this up so well for the whole team, but for Kyrie just to make those plays again on this Fanny. How do you keep track of him? I mean, we've asked the question all darn MSC. How do you keep track of Aurora? Well, when you put the Fanny in the hands of someone like Kyrie or any of these specialists, this is what you have to deal with too. It feels like his own iframes.
It's tough. It's really tough. Kyrie has been playing a really strong game here. Those cables have been ultra accurate at dodging some key abilities from the side of Aurora. Even Lunar, I think he can't be that frontline that they're hoping that he can be right now. He hasn't won his lane hard enough. And with the 8 extra assists, well, technically 5 extra assists that Lutfi has been able to gain for himself and to chastise Waldron, he is so thick. Luckily, Lunar is able to get one of his own.
This Lord is being started up here, holding it at half health. Onyx with a clear lead. They have control of this. They might be able to just go ahead and secure this. It looks like they are going to do just that as Tienzia is up top. They have the information, and Onyx will play around now with this first Lord secured.
Man, mid-trio has been playing a phenomenal game here for the side of Onyx. And unfortunately, for the side of Aurora, they've missed their window to develop their snowball even further. With the Maniac being given over to Onyx's side, resetting them from all that early game pressure that they were applying. Now they have to hope that SigaBoom gets the right items at the right time here, because Tienzi can only do so much. He's so close to finishing the Golden Staff.
So close here. Lord slowly approaching that bottom side. Again, with this kind of lead, SigaBoom just needs more time. He just doesn't have enough firepower here. And if they take out Rosa, so much damage of this profile for Aurora Gaming is expended. And they slowly walk this one in. This Lord coming down to this bottom side. Keyboy popping the conceal, looking for a potential flicker play. Lord's going to go ahead and charge into the base turret. They already pop off some damage, trying to keep them at bay, and Lunar has to disengage. They just want to clear out this Lord. They want to hold on to these base turrets. Kelra jumping in with his Almond Force, pushing him off the turret just to secure it. And now Onyx will go ahead and call it off. They look for more space turrets. Up top, Kyrie. Tienzi holding it in bay. They hold on to 2 base turrets for now.
Onyx right now just aren't falling for any of the typical tricks. They're going to lose another shielding here. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Onyx have set this up for a final push with the next Lord. If they can... wait, do they have the ults? They do!
Charge in. Loopy jumping in, and they still the Rather Dry. They're going to force the fight anyway. Loopy gone, and SigaBoom too. Kyrie's still going. They're cut off from each other. Pagu trying to get away. Kelra, a couple shots, still has the shield. They're so low, though. Aurora Gaming might want to punish. They're still following through. Tienzi has mobility, but they will rely on the conceal to get away.
And Sans, he's ready to intercept every single time. Onyx, they are well connected right now. And Aurora, they've tried a couple of feints here. Yep. They've tried a couple of motions where Pagu is trying to bait a reaction out of Onyx, but they're just not flinching anymore. And I think that confidence is starting to build up. It's surmounting to some real damage in Kelra. He's not dropping the ball. Same goes for Sans.
Look at the disparity of damage dealt by the key members here of Aurora Gaming. Tienzi there at the bottom, SigaBoom there at the bottom, and look at the difference for Onyx. Such a big difference in terms of damage, and that's just because of how these team fights have played out. Onyx has all the room to work with, especially for counter-up provided by this team that SigaBoom has just been trying to catch up. And we know this, Gideon, when you are delayed this much on that power spike for the Claude, it's really tough to get back into the zone of this one.
It is hard, but at the same time, they've got some decent wave clear on their end between Tienzi, SigaBoom, and as well as Rosa. They should be the ones who are proactively trying to work together to clean these lanes, while Pagu and Lunar needs to delay lanes. On the opposite end, Onyx very happy to be in this position. You know, they still have access to those steel cables, and Kyrie can do whatever he wants. Go to top side, set up the wave, reset the Lord again. They can do this all day, all night.
They got to clear out that bottom wave here. They do just that. Half health on this Lord. Onyx has control. Looking to see if they can bait something from Aurora Game. Doesn't happen. So objective secured. We'll have to see Aurora Gaming's lineup if they can defend once again. Already losing one base turn on the last push. They maintain it too. Are they in a position to withstand another push in?
Aurora decided not to. So now that they decided to, you know what? We're going to let the Galore come in. There's a pretty good chance that they lose all their inhibitor turrets. And that's a dangerous decision to make because all of this is so that they can get to the 42K mark where they have an option to maybe try and get a good team fight down to turn the tides. But I don't know how they're going to get neutral objectives. And until we see a full wipeout on Onyx end, I don't think Aurora necessarily can push through just yet.
Keyboy walking in on that bottom side here. Lord already in the base. Still has a flicker available. The Lord's actually going to go down very quickly from Aurora Gaming, so they maintain it. They still have some waves pushing in. Onyx might look to take down one base turret. This mid lane as Kelra jumps forward. Already, Rocket's going to force the flicker route now. They're trapped under the turret. Anyway, Rosa's gone. Again in Pagu, trying to buy the time off the kick. Kyrie might chase him down. The rest of the team's going to force the fight in the base. Kyrie joining them now. Siggy Boom with the blazing duet to clear out the lanes. They just want to stay in the game, but Kyrie keeps them together, and now they'll disengage. They still have this wave, but Onyx too low.
Oh my goodness, the item swap right at the very end there. Siggy Boom, holy cow. Holy cow. That was a dangerous moment. If it wasn't for that Rose goal, he would have died to the cutthroat coming in for Kyrie. They are out to get him.
Yeah.
The checkbox is simple. Wait for the stun to come out of Rosa. Once TNZ is down to only one combo point, then it becomes very easy to get on top of Siggy Boom, especially since so many times he walks up to try and dish out damage to specifically Lutpian as well as Keyboy. I think that's where you see a lot of the vision starts to narrow down. He's got to open the mind back up here. He's got to look for different angles. His main concern really is going to be Kelra and Kyrie. Once those go down, there's a good opportunity that Aurora can win the fight afterwards. Win a crown purchase from Kelra to make a play of his own here, but I'm trying to figure it out. Can Rosa actually find a good opportunity to stun someone? Because Kyrie never shows.
That's such a tall task here for Aurora Gaming. Playing on the back foot the past 10 plus minutes, or essentially this whole game. They're looking for a way to potentially turn this over in their favor, but there's just so much they have to do. They're gonna go in and scout out. I think the main point of contention is, do they actually try to contest this Lord when it comes up? You know, it's not gonna be evolved just yet unless for some reason Onyx delays it enough to go ahead and go through that, and I fear that if it is an evolved Lord, it's gonna be tough. But look at this pressure already up top. Immortality swapped in by TNC. Wrath of Dryad used as well.
Wait.
So an attempt here. Now Onyx. What do they want to do?
Look at the coverage for Lutpi as well as Sans. Beautiful push and pull here. TNZ able to bait out the Wrath of the Dryads, and honestly, Onyx, they don't mind. They're like, okay, sure, no Wrath of the Dryads. We want you to come to us, actually. We want you to come just when Wrath of the Dryads is about roughly 8 seconds, maybe even 12 seconds, and then we're gonna dance. We're gonna keep on dancing, because unfortunately for you, super minions are always gonna be knocking on your door, and we like to keep the porch clean.
And they got a Fanny. They can play the long lane if he wants to, right? Kyrie can go ahead, put pressure there if he needs to, but he's going to wait for this purple.
Come on, man, not now.
Buff to be up. They know this Lord is up. They can delay it a little bit further if they want to. Aurora Gaming looks to go ahead and try to get in position here. I'm not sure if this is exactly what they want to do, but it just might be one last-ditch effort if they can. TNZ swinging around. Onyx does it. Oh, the flicker forward. TNZ making his way to this fight. Can he turn it around? Pocket with the kick. It's
Are please, man. Give me this fight.
on Kyrie. Immortality are going to be popped. Kyrie's going to get out there. TNZ also trying to buy space, but Pagu falls. And now it's all falling apart. Winner crown with the blazing do it from Siggy Boom, but it's not enough. Kelra gets a double. Aurora, they still have TNZ up, but Lunar on the disengage. This fight might just be over. Kyrie joining the fight, cabling on through. He has what he needs. He's going for TNZ. He's got the immortality till he doesn't. And now Onyx will clean it up. And Lunar can't do anything. Onyx will move on forward with the hope of Indonesia as they douse out the lights of Aurora Gaming.
One hell of a game. And Onyx, no disappointed smiles. Everybody knew that this was going to be one hell of a game, and they find it and they break through. A crushing defeat for Aurora. God, that's the nature of competition. What a sweaty game.
What a series. 5 games for this one. Again, we wouldn't have it any other way, and man, was it a battle. And big respects here to Aurora Gaming on the innovation they brought throughout the group stages, up down here to the knockouts. And unfortunately, as the nature of competition, someone has to go home.
They pushed the meta forward. Was it truly their destiny to make it to the end? Onyx take that spot. Just another light snuffed out. The Sky Kings are getting back into position and opportunities, but once they couldn't get the reactions that they wanted from Onyx, it started to become just hard, just really heartbreaking.
Oh man, again, seeing these highlights here from STC, you saw how much of a dominant early game to mid game that they had, especially with Kyrie on this Fanny. There was only so much that they could do. I mean, Pagu, he even got a couple kicks on him, but the rest of the team was just scaling in their favor, and they knew how to play this composition to, you know, the best ability that we saw here. Even Keyboy on a lot of the Raptor to Dryad flicker combinations he had, and even Sounds having his own kicks half the time. You know, there was just so much that was utilized here, and even down in this last fight, they just knew with Kyrie swinging on in, there wasn't much more that Aurora Gaming could do in this instance.
With two great teams with amazing chemistry, it really just comes down to who has more experience. And Onyx take it this time. We're going to be throwing it over to our winners up on stage, which Milosh and, of course, Keyboy.
They've done it again. Onyx to the semifinals. What a matchup. We all need a moment to breathe after how close that match was. Keyboy, a few questions for you before your key crushing moment. Now, this is not the first time, of course, you play Aurora here at MSC 26. You lost in the group stage, you won here in knockout. Why? What was the difference between those two games?
I think in the group stage we're not ready too much because they are so aggressive and the hero is good. But now we already know how they play and we got it.
Well, you got it, but there was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of effort to win that game. What do you do after game one? Because I saw how the reaction was on your faces. You went back with Coach CW. How do you reset and get back into the game?
Yeah, we just think next match the team spirit, right? Yeah, we just focus team spirit and yeah, just enjoy and reset for the next.
You have the reset for it then, and you know, you've made the knockout stage. Last year, you of course were here as well. It's semifinals again, 2 years in a row. The question is, are you ready to go deeper than that? Does that add to the pressure, the fact that you're also playing a non-SEA team that wants to get to the grand final as well?
Yeah, for us, we want to get the champion again, and we are ready to AWSU here now.
Keep in mind, there's now Czar Egoist on the other side on Team Spirit. It's not the first time that you play against them. You knocked them out last year in quarterfinals. There's also Sawo on the other team. That's your counterpart in position. I mean, what's going to change compared to that last year? Are you going to finally take them down here at MSC?
Same like Aurora, we want to take the defense first. And yeah, we are ready to fight Team Spirit. Just ready, Team Spirit.
Ready for Team Spirit. I have a lot of questions for you, but a question to the Onyx fans in here. What time is it? It's Onyx time. It's key crushing time. Onyx, gentlemen, come on over. You'll get to relax plenty right after this. Now let's all go to the back. Come along. Let's go crush that Aurora Gaming key. We waited so long. What a great match that we had. Incredible best of 5. Now you get to celebrate, Keyboy. Go ahead. Go ahead, gentlemen. Come on in. Last year, Onyx made it to the semifinals. This time, they've done it again. Goodbye, Aurora Gaming. Good luck in the next one. And as the fans are cheering, and as you heard them say, thank you for letting us know where the airport is. Onyx victorious on to the semifinals. They'll be playing gatekeepers to yet another Western team, non-SEA. What happens tomorrow versus Team Spirit? We won't know for sure, but our panelists, they're going to break this match down for you.
The gold standard crushes the golden key of Aurora Gaming and sends them home one last time. As MSC continues, our semifinals are booked and speak.